92%. Chapter 521. Fairy Island. This red yan canna is precious, but it cannot be compared with the value of so many treasures. If King Yan is willing, I can give you 20% of the goods, but it may take more than 3 years for all the goods to be delivered. Huakai said arrive. This king will leave special coalition personnel. China will complete a batch and we will deliver a batch. However, I still want the goods in the plan. Does King China think there is a way? King Yan looked at Huakai and said. Can King Yan tell me why you are so anxious? Huakai looked at King Yan. This. Even if the king doesn't say that after I leave, you will surely be able to guess it. I want to exchange this news for the remaining goods. The King Yan said. You have to talk about the content of the news first, so I know how much the news is worth. Huakai has already guessed what Yan Wang will do next, but it is useless if Yan Wang doesn't say in detail that he knows this. As for the fairy island and these strange stones and elixir, the fairy island is very big, there are many restrictions and phantom formations. If you don't pay attention to it, you will fall into it. I only explored one of the 2 fairy islands there, and the other one from a distance. The treasure is shining, but no matter how close we are, we can't enter the island. I suspect that the fairy island is surrounded by formations. Then you can try the fairy island. King Yan said to Huakai. It is impossible to say that it is impossible to say nothing. Huakai has the family secret realm space to avoid danger, and the sweeping Shayi can break all illusions. If Huakai is searched, it may be much more rewarding than King Yan. Tell me how to go, I can give you 20% of the goods, and try to deliver all the goods within 5 years. Huakai said. I can only take you there. The fairy island is erratic and must be sensed in a special way. I can see the Yuyang County of Yan State to China, so that all the land in China can be linked together. At that time, the country of Yan and China will share these 2 fairy islands. The King Yan looked at Huakai and said. It turns out that the purpose of King Yan's arrival today is actually like this. At the beginning, the strange stones and elixir, including the last red canna, were just a lure. The ultimate goal of King Yan was to enter the fairy island together with Huakai. Where is Zhao Dan now? Huakai did not answer King Yan's request, but asked about Zhao Dan's whereabouts. Is Zhao Dan that important? I remember that your relationship with him is not very good. Yan Wang said. Zhao Dan is in the human race gold core realm, did you kill him? No, when we first entered Fairy Island, we did a bad job for Ling Bao, then we competed and I won. He was angry but left first. King Yan said unnaturally. This Fairy Island must be the reason why King Yan gave up the entire country of Zhao. He waited until he came back from the island to stand up. As a result, King Yan said a word and the 2 of them were very unhappy. Zhao Dan left hastily, and there must be a big deal in it, occurring. In the past 5 years, the Central Plains had not had a long period of spiritual reign, which showed that Zhao Dan must not have died. Where is Zhao Dan? Huakai continued to ask. King Yan remained silent and Huakai waited quietly. King Yan exchanged so many things from Huakai in order to establish a friendly relationship with China. He could give the entire Yuyang County to China, indicating that he had no idea about the Central Plains. In other words, there is no idea in a short time. Huakai thought of Zhao Dan and Jing Kai who assassinated King Qin. He probably knew what King Yan thought. You want to open up a piece of land overseas, where spiritual qi is abundant, right? But there are a lot of wild beasts, you need a lot of high-powered combat power to eliminate the wild beasts there. You tell me where Zhao Dan is now, and I promised your deal. From then on, Yan was protected by China. As long as Yan did not actively invade other countries, no one would dare to move Yan. If Yan Guo has demonic beasts that cannot be resolved, I promise to shoot 3 times. Huakai looked at King Yan and said. It's this red Yan canna. In order to get it, the 2 of us entered a phantom array. Zhao Dan found the eyes of the array and was trapped by the phantom array. I escaped. At that time, the great demon guarding the island had already found us, so I could only escape first. The King Yan said. Yes, you know where you are. Every time the human race loses a gold core state, the overall strength will be weakened a bit. If you stay with King Zhao in the past 5 years, the wild beasts will not grow so rapidly. It will be so hard. 1 million caddies of dragon meat, 500 dragon scale armors, 200 spiritual pills, 30 spiritual soldiers, 10 spiritual armors, and 500 treasure weapon treasures. I will give you the dragon meat first, and the other 5. The delivery is completed within the year, and the delivery is 20% per year. If there is any accident, I will let you know in advance. Hua Kai said. Then we will go to Fairy Island in the spring of next year. To go to Fairy Island, we need to take a treasure boat. My treasure boat can only take 100 people, and there may be demonic beasts in the sea on the way. I will reserve 10 people for the Hua family. At that time, you have to be fully prepared. King Yan said to Hua Kai. You don't need to reserve a place for us. We have a building that can withstand the attacks of demonic beasts in the sea. You only need to lead the way. Hua Kai said. To give King Yan 1,000,000 caddies of dragon meat, in fact, this is only a very small part of the entire dragon. Hua Kai has made countless money this year by using the dragon meat. The harvest of strange stones and elixir is more than several times faster than before. But at this time the collection speed has also slowed down, and the treasures treasured by the world's families are not unlimited. Hua Kai entered the family secret realm space and saw that there were more than 30 people talking about something here. Everyone was curious about what was happening when they saw the smile on Hua Kai's face. Since the last time China was upgraded to a first-ranked country, the number of core family members has reached 100, and the number of family members has reached 5,000. Hua Kai has only accepted 37 people to become core members of the Chinese family, and there are still 14 places left. Add it slowly. The family list has become 5,000 people, but this time there is no qualification for the Ascension family member. Hua Kai has allowed the core members of the family to accelerate the secret realm trial for ordinary members of the family in the past 2 months. The strength of nearly 3,000 people in China has increased by leaps and bounds. These are all carried out quietly. In the past 2 months, China has added 4 more foundation building realms, and more than 200 people have entered the Shantian realm. My lord, what is so happy? I just want to tell you about the expansion of Guangxian County. Hua Ziji said when he saw Hua Kai. Since China annexed Qi, Hua Ziji became the head of Qi County. His 2 sons are now in charge of the construction of 2 other counties in the south of China and the elimination of wild animal herds. The city of Linzi in Qi County is still the most important city, and Guangxian is just an important town on the commercial road. Guangxian does not need to be expanded, just increase the defense construction of the city wall. Let's talk about the development of the 5 counties of Qi country slowly. You will leave the watchman, and the others will come to help with me. Hua Kai entered the pill refining room after speaking. He put all the elixir on the ground, and everyone took the initiative to put the elixir on the shelf. The number of some high-level elixir was increasing. The medicinal materials that had been in gray and dark before were also lighted up, and the pill recipes were lighted up. Hua Kai kept his eyes on the pill recipe at the top. This time, there are hundreds of 8 rank or above elixirs, and the 7 pill recipes are illuminated. Hua Kai took a look at some of the elixirs with the same use. If they are refined, they can refine up to 4 furnaces of elixir, these 4 furnaces. The 2 furnaces of elixir are the power of Ascension's spirit and soul, one is the power of Ascension's will, and the other is the power of Ascension's aptitude and lifespan. The pill of immortality is for the masters of the gods, and it has a very significant effect on the gold core. For some 4 furnace elixir, Huamoa Euro's inclusion of terrain for the mountain and river map is no longer a problem. After receiving the elixir, Hua Kai and the core members of the family entered the weapon shop. This batch of strange stones is enough to forge thousands of spiritual weapons or spiritual armors. There are 11 fairy soldiers, 4 fairy armors are lit, and 1 pair of 8 rank immortals is lit. A is forged from that piece of spirit stones as the main material. On November 11, 2006, Hua Zichen led the Azure Dragon army to return from Lu, and the whole Chinese people welcomed them. After more than a year of fighting with Qin, the Azure Dragon Corps injured more than 2,000 people, but the entire corps appeared more confident. They killed more than 100,000 Qin soldiers in more than a year, and Qin Gorui soldiers couldn't help but be terrified. Hua Kai slowly opened his eyes in the sitting room, and he opened the own property panel. Hua Kai. Gold Core Level 9. Qualification. SSS+. Physique. 82. Strength. 79. Will. 80. Xuanbing Wool. 7th level, 3%. Resistance. High-grade ice antibody, 81%. Supernatural powers. Illusory world, power of dominance. Novelist. Sage. Confucianism. Everyone. Taoism. Everyone. Hua Kai's physique and willpower have already broken through the limits of his body, but his vigor is still unable to reach 80 points. He is only 1 step away from the gold core realm of Zochin, but this step is not easy to cross. Knowing that the cultivation matter was in a hurry, Wakai got up and walked out of the meditation room, feeling that the Azure Dragon core had returned, with a smile on his face. Wakai gave the 14 spirit treasures that he had traded with King Yan to Wushu Huazichan, and asked him to use it for members of Azure Dragon Corps who were stuck in the Shantian realm. After the 9S qualified members use the first rank Wuling Bao, the foundation building is successful, and they will be able to ascension up to the 3rd floor of the foundation building in the future. After the 5S plus qualified members use the 2nd rank Will Spirit Treasure, they are also successful in foundation building. In the future, they will be able to achieve foundation building realm completeness at most. In this way, the Azure Dragon Legion foundation building has changed from 5 ascension members to 19 members now. The number 1 legion in the world is worthy of its name. Huakai is considering the use of Red Yan Canna. After using Red Yan Canna, the highest possible ascension to foundation building cultivation base, that is, the SS Plus qualification is the most suitable. China's national SS Plus qualifications, and the will to comprehend fire. There are 4 people who have the strength of the Shantian realm or above Zochan, the grandfather Hua Xing, the 5th uncle Hua Zichan, Hua Yu, and Yu Jun. In recent years, Wushu Huazichan has the strongest strength on the 6th floor of the foundation building, Yujun Foundation Building on the 3rd floor, and Grandpa Foundation Building on the 2nd floor. Wayu Shantian has achieved great success. 92%. Chapter 522. After Huakaya Euro's thinking, Wushu Huazichan used this red Yankanana to be the most suitable. It is very simple to enter the foundation building realm with Wayu Euro's qualifications. What Wahia lacks now is the advanced combat power in the Gold Core realm. Wushu Huazichan can enter the Gold Core realm faster after using Red Yan Canna. As for saying that he has lost the possibility of entering the God Transformation realm, the Tianxia Hua Divine realm is only a legend. This Red Yan Canna is already regarded as a treasure. Huazichan is leading the Azure Dragon Corps soldiers back to the barracks. This year, the Azure Dragon Corps is stationed in the southern area of Weisang. This is the new academy, barracks, residential areas, and horse farms in Weisang. Ida Euro's comparable here. The east side is too quiet. Huazichan suddenly heard a voice in his mind. He asked Shui Pan to send everyone back to the barracks and walked towards Heavenly Horse Field alone. A person in charge of the ranch was already waiting outside the gate. He took Huazichan to the sitting room and saw Huakai watching the horsemen brushing the horses in the stables. Now the number of horses in the horses is increasing. With more horses, the number of 6th rank horses has reached 5, and a group of them is not far from Heavenly Horse. Uncle Wu, come back, sit down. Wakai said to Huazichan. Although they often meet in the family secret realm space, it is rare to be able to watch the sky and chat leisurely today. Thank you, Wang. Huazichan sat down unceremoniously. Have you seen it in the other 3 districts? How do you feel? Huakai took out the soaked Anshan flower tea and poured a cup for Huazichan. Now Huacheng produces thousands of Anshan flour every year, because there is no major war. The Huakai space has accumulated more and more, and this soothing flour feels good to drink if it's okay. Look, the river canal is more beautiful than the east side. I led the Azure Dragon Corps from the south, looking at the 4 flat-topped mountains as works of art from a distance, especially the Qingtian Mountain in the middle, which looks very good. I have the opportunity to go to Qingtian Mountain to see if this Lingyantai can really ascension willpower. Huazichan said with a smile. It has only been more than a year since he left China. He couldn't believe the progress of China. He has seen too many people's hardships in the central part of the Central Plains for more than a year. Looking back, China can't help but feel proud. By the way, I just saw Shu Hua with a group of students taking care of the flat peach tree. Doesn't this flat peach tree really need to be planted in the spiritual field? Even in the Heavenly Horse field, it's not bad. Huazichan said to Wakai. The flat peach tree that King Yan gave us is only 1 person tall. I don't know how many years it will take to grow up. Even if Shu Hua continues to give birth, it will take hundreds of years to bear flat peaches. There are many things we can do with that time. Regarding it as an ordinary spiritual tree that gathers spiritual qi, Yan Wang can give us this flat peach tree, he must have better. Wakai returned. Yes, a few days ago, you said about choosing people to go to Beihai to find Shandao. I don't know how many people are we going to take this time? Huazichan asked. I'm about to tell you about this. I want all the families to participate in my trip to Beihai next year. All aristocratic families are involved. The aristocratic families below the 6th rank only have the Qi training realm. The fairy island is full of demonic beasts and restrictions. They may not be able to get out after entering the illusion. If the loss is too large, the aristocratic family will. The responsibility is on us. Hua Zichen reminded. I made this decision after careful consideration. This winter, I will try my best to support the building and ship. At that time, with me and Wukong, there should be no problem as long as the big monster does not appear on this sea. After entering the fairy island, Wukong is the most sensitive to Lingbao, and he is also extremely accurate in detecting danger. I can view all the restrictions and phantom arrays, and then let everyone explore the safe area. There are wars everywhere in the Central Plains, and many people have only heard of areas outside the East China Shenzhou. Regarding overseas and resting places, everyone always thinks that it will not have any intersection with themselves. If we can bring the Chinese family to immortals on the island, the more things they get, the stronger China Euro's national power will be. As everyone a Euro's structure is larger, they will have a clearer understanding of the struggles of the Central Plains countries and the pressures of human survival. In the past few years, I have seen the motions sent by the House of Representatives, which are all trivial things. Ascension a Euro's ability to understand the world is also my important duty. Hua Kai said. Hua Zichen nodded after hearing this. The annual budget of China is sent to officials and workers in the form of Chinese currency. In addition to life, these people take the money, and the most important thing is to buy medicine pill, ling rice, and all kinds of meat. Classes, weapons, and finally the money returned to the Ministry of Finance of China after a round. The reserves of gold in Huacheng became more and more, and the money only allowed the circulation of materials in China. No matter how rich the people are, if you want to buy medicine pill and weapons in the end, you don't a Euro T have to give all the money to the Hua family. So the final result is that the more money the Hua family releases, the more elixir and weapons the people buy. By turning these elixir and strange stones into strength, the overall strength of the entire country of China will grow rapidly. And this year Jiaolong banquet and the King Yan gave so many elixir and strange stones, let the family collect more low-level elixir and strange stones in exchange for these high-level medicine pill and divine armament. China's low-level medicine pill will be more. There are more and more low-level weapons, and the overall strength continues to grow. China now has more than 2,000 families. How many people do you plan to take? Hua Zichen asked Hua Kai. You can't ask for this. If you release the news, you will say that I will go to the East China Sea Shandao next year to explore treasures. If there is a family who wants to go, you can find a way to hinder it and require the lowest level of aura strength. The 9th rank family can only go to one person. There are 2 people in the 8th rank family, 3 in the 7th rank family, and up to 8 people in the 2nd rank family. Make this a thing for our Chinese family, but don't want a family who is not loyal to the Chinese family, and bear all the consequences if an accident happens. Hua Kai said. Hua Zichen nodded when he heard it. This is the best for the Hua family's rule. The Hua family needs the stability of the whole country, so they must occasionally give some benefits to the family so that their rule can be more supported by everyone. Okay, I see. I try to keep this news only at the family level. I still have to tell all the core members of this matter and let them inform their own family members. Soon the entire Chinese family will know. Hua Zichen said. The 2 talked about the next year's expedition. Although King Yan had already been to Shandao, they couldn't care less about everything. Next year, Hua Kai will leave Shaoqiang behind and lead most of China's foundation building to overseas fairy islands, plus the entire undead core. This strength is enough. Uncle Wu, I told you Red Canna last time. I think that now you can quickly enter the Gold Core realm, which has the 10 greatest effect on our entire country. You also know the side effects of using Red Yan Canna. You lose the possibility of being promoted to the gods. Now there are 4 people in China who have the opportunity to enter the realm of Washan. If you can get some fairy level spirits from Fairy Island this time, maybe you can still get ascension with the qualifications. You can decide whether to use Red Yan Canna. Hua Kai said. If you say that, how about the use of Uncle Wu? It is hard to imagine that I can enter the Gold Core. It is not what I dare to expect. Our Hua family does not name the 4 gods. As long as you being able to enter the Washan, the Hua family will be able to dominate the world and create an unworldly great cause. Hua Zichen said. Hua Kai and Hua Zichen entered the meditation room, He handed the wind-fire futon to the Wushu and let him sit on it, and then waited for him to adjust. Wakai took out Red Yankanana and hung it on Wazichena-Euro's head. The whole secret room was quickly filled with the strong will of fire. Wakai saw the Wushu's willpower running continuously in his body, and the will of fire in the distribution of the Red Yankanana was constantly being filled by Wazich and absorb. After a while, Wakai saw the Wushu's willpower rise from the 3rd floor to the 4th floor. His whole body spiritual chi was running fast, and the cultivation base also entered the 7th floor of the foundation building, but this was just the beginning. Yan Kana slowly submerged into his mind from the top of Wazichen's head. Wazichen's whole body will of fire changed in operation mode, and his willpower and strength quickly ascension. For 3 whole days, Wakai has been guarding Wushu's side. Hongyan Kana has been completely absorbed by Wushu. In order not to affect others, Huakai kept the breath of Hongyan Kana in the sitting room and controlled it. Heavenly Horse Field spiritual chi and the power of will of heaven and earth allow Wushu to better absorb Red Kana, and now Wazichena Euro's power of will has reached 79% of the 5th floor, and the strength of ascension has reached the foundation building, 9 floors. Wushu became the 3rd place on the 9th floor of the foundation building after Wamo and Shui Chen. Shui Chen is getting closer and closer to Zochin after acquiring the fairy soldier. Warentuya is now on the 8th floor of the foundation building. Uncle may become the 2nd gold core of Huakai outside the Chinese family. In this way, Wakai asked Wushu to resign from the position of Azure Dragon Corps Commander, and the Corps Commander handed it over to Wapeng. Shui Pan and him will then specialize in managing the affairs of the military academy and participate as little as possible in the army battle. Because Shui Pan is now on the 4th floor of the foundation building, there is still a great opportunity for future strength ascension. The stronger the strength, the more unsuitable for legion combat, because even with the Anshan flower, the karma in the body cannot be completely eliminated. Ascension has an impact. November is the time for the opening of the Chinese National Assembly for another year. Huakai has already participated in the detailed system formulation of these countries. He only needs to manage the general direction of the country's development and guide the country's trend. Wakai has been waiting for the news of King Yan from the intelligence department, but there is no news about King Yan from the intelligence agents in Qin, Chu, or Yan. This shows that King Yan has not really shown up yet. This is what he is. Developed secretly, maybe he was still afraid of something. This is also a good thing for Huakai. There have been reports about overseas fairy islands at the level of the Chinese family. Some family heads have personally come to Huakai to confirm the reliability of the news. Huakai can only reluctantly make them too join in, saying that this is just a reward for the loyal family of the Chinese family. 92%. Chapter 523 Secret Realm. In the winter of 6 years in China, in the 12th lunar month, China has not seen snow everywhere, but this year the number of wild beasts is obviously much higher than last year. Huakai gave orders to each district to eliminate the wild beasts as soon as they were found, and not to give them growth. If there are too many wild beasts to be eliminated, everyone will guard the city for help. The core members of Huakai Zhang will take turns patrolling the cities of the 10 counties every 3 days. Huakai heard that the number of demonic beasts in Zhongshan County this year was much greater than before. This is because the entire eastern part of Zhao State was abandoned by the Qin State, and the number of wild beasts increased, and the area has completely become a wild beast activity area. He rode Xiaoqiang to Zhongshan County with Xiaoqiang. Because there is no intermediate demonic beasts, Xiaoqiang is more effective than Wukong. Xiaoqiang's attack strength is 0 to attack demonic beasts because of his ability to transform power and intelligence. In 2 days in Zhongshan County, Huakai helped Zhongshan County clean up all the demonic beasts. If there are a large number of barren beasts, Huakai will also help to clear out some brutal beasts, so that the pressure on the city's defense will be much less. Huakai, who possesses the scary night gun, is much stronger than Ascension before. No matter how strong the defense of demonic beasts is, it is a shot for him. In the past, Huakai was afraid that those strong demonic beasts would not fight for a long time. Death also caused it to escape. Some fairy soldiers Huakai's combat efficiency is much greater than before. Now he has a higher probability of killing demonic beasts alone. Wakai finally knows why Qin Zheng can kill demonic beasts so easily. This is inseparable from his large Sha dragon sparrow. In Zhongshan County, 4 demonic beasts were killed in 2 days, and hundreds of wild beasts were killed. Huakai started to get up and headed to Guangling County. Even though the 5 counties of Qi State newly acquired this year, Even if the military academy sent 200,000 troops, it was because of the 5 counties. The population is too small, and what Huakai is most worried about is the newly acquired 5 county cities in Qi State. Arriving here in Guangling County, it was unexpectedly stable. The people quickly restored order under the management of the 3 major hospitals. 40,000 Vermilion Bird Legion soldiers cleared the barren beasts outside the city every day. The elite Chinese Legion was very skilled in clearing barren beasts. Their main task since the establishment of the Legion is to clean up the wild beasts. Huakai also saw 2 undead Legion leaders leading 200 undead soldiers to clean up the wild beasts. One of the undead leader is already in the foundation building realm. They can also deal with a small number of junior demonic beasts. After walking around the 5 counties, Huakai wiped out the demonic beasts 10 miles away from each city. These cities will not be in great danger for at least a month. The southern part of the 5 counties is the core area of the state of Lu, and the Dongling Mountains are no longer in danger. So the situation here is much better than Huakai imagined. Walking back from Yuyang County, when Huakai rode Luma approaching Weisung City for 30 miles, he suddenly heard the sound of fighting, but when he approached, he found 3 familiar figures. A short figure was fighting with a high-level brutal beast. Holding a golden stick-shaped weapon in his hand, the bear-shaped high-level brutal beast screamed. Xiaoqiang followed the brutal beast and placed it to escape. Wukong followed the short figure to prevent him from accident. For Xiaoqiang and Wukong, this high-level brutal beast could easily kill each other with one move, but they both looked like it's very nervous. Xiaoqiang, he is going to run away, you block it for me. Hua Chengmin shouted to Xiaoqiang. Seeing that the brutal beast had escaped from Hua Chengmin's Euro's entanglement, Xiaoqiang stepped forward and slapped the brutal beast back. He did na Euro T1 to slap the brutal beast and turned dizzy. Hua Chengmin, who did not respond for a long time, stepped forward. Hunyuan Wujin cudgel hit the brutal beast on the head, and the brutal beast killed 6 every few times. Although Hua Chengmin was only 5 years old and didn't have any true qi, he was born with supernatural power, and the power of will below 5 levels had no effect on him, but it was easy to deal with a high-level brute. This high-level brute is too weak. Are there demonic beasts? Let's kill demonic beasts, Hua Chengmin said excitedly. Xiaoqiang and Wukong hurriedly shook their heads when they heard it. They blocked Hua Chengmin from continuing to stay away from Huacheng. At this time, Wukong seemed to feel something. He looked to the south and saw a figure approaching them. He couldn't see who Huakai was. When Wukong saw Huakai coming, he covered his own face with his hands and did not dare to look up. Hua Chengmin didn't know it. He looked at Wukong. What's wrong? Let's go. I finally came out today. If you don't follow me to find demonic beasts, I won't give you a stick. At this time, Xiaoqiang also saw Huakai flying from the sky, and he lay down on the ground and made a ooh sound. Chengmin, Huakai said, looking at his son. Father, why are you here? Hua Chengmin looked at Huakai and said in surprise. How did you go down the mountain? It's far away from Huacheng. Goku, did you bring Chengmin down the mountain? There are no more purple gold coins this month. Huakai said unhappily. When Wukong heard Huakai say that he wanted to deduct his ration, he explained to Huakai. Squeaky, Huakai fell to the ground and dismounted. Xiaoqiang came to him and wagged his tail. Father, the sun is going down the mountain. Wukong and Xiaoqiang are protecting me. If you want to blame the sun. Hua Chengmin said to Huakai. You are not in school. You know how dangerous this is when you go down the mountain in the winter. You may not be able to protect you if you encounter the mid-level demonic beast Xiaoqiang. Huakai looked at his son and said. The teachers of the academy didn't teach me. Those students saw me only as promised, and they didn't mean anything. The children wanted to kill demonic beasts to make the life of the people of China safer. Hua Chengmin said. You kill demonic beasts. Or wait until you grow up. Your main task now is to study hard and grow up well. I leave Weisung City. Weisung City still needs Wukong and Xiaoqiang to guard. You put Hunyuan Wujin's stick, give it back to Wukong, and come back to the palace with me first. Huakai said. Seeing that Huakai was not angry, Hua Chengmin was reluctant to return the Hunyuan Wujin cudgel to Wukong. Father, please give me a weapon like Wukong too. Those weapons in the palace are too light. Seeing that Huakai had already been on Luma, Hua Chengmin rode on Xiaoqiang and followed Huakai drove towards Weisung. Go back to the palace first. You are different from ordinary children. It is because the father is not thinking carefully. If you can get the system's approval, the father will not stop you in the future. Huakai said to Hua Chengmin. A 5-year-old kid hammered a high-level brute beast with an 80,000 jin immortal soldier in a few strokes. How could this kid treat it with common sense? Hua Kai also heard the report given to him by the dean of the family academy, saying that Chungmina Euro's wisdom is far superior to ordinary people. Now there is no difficulty for him to learn what the family academy has. He has not learned much in the academy. If you want Hua Chengmin to learn more, the only place is the 100 colleges in Shacheng, where all kinds of ideas collide, a place where the trend of the times is at the forefront. At the palace, Wukong and Xiaoqiang next to Hua Kai waited outside the study, and he took Hua Chengmin into the study. Can the system include Hua Chengmin as a core member of China? Hua Kai asked. Hua Chengmin is not too old, and he still does not see loyalty. However, he is the future heir of China. How could he not be a core member? System prompt. The speciality of China's Prince Hua Chengmin is detected. Is it determined to include China's son Hua Chengmin as a core member of China? The core members are now 86 and there are 14 vacancies. Hua Kai heard the system prompt and smiled on his face. He made sure to make Hua Chengmin a core member. Hua Chengmin's body suddenly disappeared, and Hua Kai disappeared. My lord, the son is here too. A core member asked in surprise when he saw Hua Chengmin entering the family secret realm space. Hello, father, where is this place? That is Grandpa Second, Hua Chengmin said in surprise. This is the biggest secret of our Chinese family secret realm space. Only the core members of the family can enter. You have met many people in the past few years, but there are some people you haven't met. Some of them are in Chu State, Yu State and other places are not in the country all year round, but they are also doing the most important things. After you see everyone, you must maintain a humble heart. Didn't you say that there is no teacher to teach you? Everyone here manages the most important departments and districts of China. If you really want to learn, you can communicate with them more. Every month, the core members of China hold a plenary meeting on the 30th. You may not attend, or you can come and listen to the current development of China. Where are our enemies and threats? Hua Kai said to Hua Chengmin. Hua Chengmin nodded his head with excitement. Hua Kai introduced him where to see the national fortune, and took him to the entrance of Journey to the West. Cao Zerui is leading 3 trialists to prepare for the trial. I have seen the teacher, I have seen the Son of God. Cao Zerui saluted Hua Kai and asked Hua Chengmin. How is the situation now? The westward journey world is still stable. Hua Kai asked his senior disciple. Cao Zerui is already on the 5th floor of the foundation building level. After being promoted to the foundation building level, the gap between him and others quickly widened. This is the advantage of good qualifications. Hua Kai now delegates all the trials of the westward journey to Cao Zerui, and Cao Zerui thinks all of it. In terms of his knowledge and understanding of the journey to the west and his creation of works, he has now written 5 masterpieces, and he hopes to be promoted to sage in the future. Everything is stable. It is based on the plot. The Monkey King will come out of 5 Elements Mountain in 200 years. The second plot development of Westward Journey World will end at this time next year. Cao Zerui said to Hua Kai. Tell me about the people who tried it. I think there are a lot of people who test in Journey to the West. Hua Kai mental energy plunged into the world of Journey to the West and saw that there were more than 200 people in the trial. Nowadays, more and more people from various universities, military, and Chinese families have signed up to enter the Journey to the West trial. I have controlled the number of trials to less than 300. Now, of the 248 people who have entered the trial, 184 of them have been in the trial for more than 30 years. People, 115 people who tried for more than 60 years, 31 people who broke the barrier of life, 9 people who tried more than 200 years, and 4 people who tried more than 300 years. Among them, the longest time belongs to Lian Po. Now it is 394 years. He has now been promoted to the Demon Commander, and has the opportunity to be promoted to the Demon King. Cao Zerui said. 92%. Chapter 524 Another Winter. Hua Chengmin invested mental energy into the world of Journey to the West. Hua Kai personally told him about the power distribution in this world, the operation method of heavenly Tao, and the power of various forces. Of course, Hua Chengmin had also read the Journey to the West novel. He originally thought he knew enough about the book, Journey to the West, written by his father, but after hearing Hua Kai's introduction, he knew that the world was much deeper than he knew. Father, my child knows. Everything you learn in the aristocratic family is just the foundation. Children will not be complacent. Only by working hard to learn all kinds of knowledge and seeing the nature of this world, can the future be the king of China. Hua Chengmin said. Although Hua Kai is not sure whether Hua Chengmin will ever become king, he is still very satisfied with Hua Chengmin's attitude. In the future, if he has any problems, he can entangle all core members and cultivate heirs from China. Not all core members is it responsible. Then Hua Kai led Hua Chengmin into the Wen Tianxi secret realm and physical training secret realm, and finally he led Hua Chengmin into the blacksmith shop. All the advanced weapons and armors of our family are forged from here, including Wukong's Hunyuan Wujin stick. Hua Kai said to Hua Chengmin. How do you forge this? Can you give the child a weapon like Wukong? It's important, Hua Chengmin said. Hua Kai thought about it, and now it happens that there are enough high-grade strange stones in blacksmith's shop. Although Hua Chengmin is only 5 years old, he has been born with a sea of consciousness, and it should be possible for a spiritual tool to recognize the master. What kind of weapon do you like? Is it the same as Wukong? You have to think about it. It is very difficult for a person to have a second weapon in his life. After you choose it, you can't change it, Hua Kai said. Hua Chengmin did not expect that his father would really want to forge weapons for himself. He raised his small head. After thinking for a while, he decided to choose a gun as a weapon. The spirit weapon would be adjusted in size and weight according to the owner's needs, so he was not afraid of growing up after a few hours. Can no longer be used. The immortal weapon is enough to be used in the gods. Hua Kai forged a sound gun for Hua Chengmin. This is a first-rank fairy soldier with a relatively balanced power of 5 elements. It looks very majestic. Hua Chengmin just saw it. Can't put it down. This crazy dragon battle armor is the strongest battle armor we can forge. As an 8th grade fairy armor, even the damage of the 10 transcendent divine realm can reduce damage by more than 50%. It takes us a month to accumulate 8.86 million gas luck. Chi, I was thinking about whom this armor is the most suitable for. If you want to leave Huacheng, my son, without the protection of your father, Wukong, and Xiaoqiang, this armor can save your life, Wu Yu. Hua Kai said. Hua Chengmin was so excited to see this fairy armor projection, but when Hua Kai said so, he suddenly felt that this armor was extremely heavy. Father, you often fight outside, so let's use this armor. It's not bad to see that armor, Hua Chengmin said. The 4 lighted fairy armor drawings have many of the same materials. Only 1 fairy armor can be forged. Now the family luck value is less than 10 million, and we will refine it after a while. This Brazier Dragon Warrior has a special feature, exempts the willpower below the 6th rank from being imprisoned. The willpower of the ordinary gold core state has become invisible. When it receives a fatal attack, the spirit of the battle armor can withstand a fatal damage. But every time it suffers a fatal injury, its level is reduced by 1 level, and it needs to be repaired to recover. Father, I have Sao Shayi, which overlaps many functions of this crazy dragon immortal armor. I have considered that although you are only 5 years old now, your thinking is very mature and you can go out and see more. As the saying goes, you can read thousands of books and travel thousands of miles. You'd better not leave China before you are 12 years old. After you are 12 years old, you can go to various places in the world and see the world more clearly after you become the emperor in the future. Quote. Hua Kai said that, Hua Chengmin can feel that his father is not the same as before. He is talking to himself in the way of a king giving his heir. Now both of them are independent individuals. Individuals must take responsibility for the prosperity of the country in the future. Father, my son knows. Hua Chengmin nodded and said. Hua Kai smiled and nodded. China has such an heir, which is very important for the whole country. Only by experiencing the suffering of the people can we know what we should do in the future. Father, can I visit my grandfather in Yu's kingdom? Grandpa wanted me to visit Grandma at the Snow Mountain Shrine of the Ujamukan tribe last time. Hua Chengmin asked. Of course you can. Father will not deliberately ask you after you do anything, because your basic learning is already in place. You know all the truths in the world, but you have to wear crazy dragon armor if you want to leave the Weisung area, because your life and death are related to the national fortune of the entire China. In addition, the father will send you an assignment. Every month you must write a piece of what you see and feel, and hand it to father and me, because as your father, I must know what my son is studying. If you make any progress, it is also the most important responsibility of the father and the king to develop you into an adult. Hua Kai said. After Huakai returned to Huacheng, in addition to upgrading BMW and Shenzhou Heavenly Horse Field every day, he also modified own Romance of the Three Kingdoms. Romance of the Three Kingdoms has been revised to the Battle of Chibi. Huakai felt that Romance of the Three Kingdoms, the promotion from the masterpiece to the Holy Scripture, is very close, but there are only 5 Holy Scriptures in the world. Except for the 2 Holy Scriptures created by Kong Zisheng, only 3 sages, including Huakai, have created a Holy Scripture in the world. On January 1, China, Huakai was 33 years old. After accepting all the children of the Hua family yesterday, Huakai gave all the children of the Hua family a year of rewards. Those who performed well received Huakai. Many people who underperform will lose their posts this year. Before and after this year, 100 officials worshipped. Huakai enjoyed the New Year banquet with all the 100 officials and the children of the Hua family. Yurantuya and Huakai and the concubines all attended. For the first time, Hua Chengmin sat alone in the Countria Euro-S Sona Euro-S on the seat. Many people can't help but worry, is Huakai too anxious? Some family patriarchs who have confirmed that Huakai will go to Baishan to explore Fairy Island next year know that there will be danger in Huakai's exploration of Fairy Island. Now it is determined that the son's status in the country of China, in case they encounter an accident on this trip, China will not be shattered. When the banquet is over, Huakai takes Hua Chengmin into the family secret realm space, and the forging of Crazy Dragon fairy armor is completed. After Hua Chengmin recognizes the Lord, the armor becomes an armor the same size as its body. It is very prestigious, with 2 pieces of fairy protection. Hua Chengmin is not afraid of it even in the face of ordinary foundation building. I exchanged with Hua Chengmin about the results of the practice he wrote this month. Huakai reminded him and corrected his Sona Euro-S misunderstandings. Hua Chengmin listened patiently to a Kinga Euro-S worldview, values and his ability is equally important. After Hua Chengmin left, Huakai came to Shenzhou district. Since taking half a piece of turtle fragrant fruit, his strength ascension is very fast. Now he has developed a 6th order Zochin, and he is only 1 step away from becoming the 2nd heavenly horse in China. Huakai rode Luma and spent 3 days trying out the 3 secret realms. The effect was very gratifying. Luma was promoted to heavenly horse, and his physique and willpower were also ascension, but his vigor value was still at 79 o'clock. He still didn't touch the threshold of the transcendent god realm. A large amount of resources were used by the core members of the Hua family. Hua Mo, Shui Chen, and Wushu Hua Zichen all reached the foundation building realm of Zochin, only 1 step away from the gold core realm, but 1 step seems to be very close if you want to step into it. But it is very difficult, otherwise the world's gold core environment is only so little. Warentuya reached the 9th floor of the foundation building. Waiu was promoted to the 1st floor of the foundation building. Yujun entered the 5th floor of the foundation building. Wazawan was promoted to the 4th floor of the foundation building, and his grandfather Hua Xing was promoted to the 4th floor of the foundation building. Li was promoted to the 2nd floor of the foundation building, Shui Pan to the 5th floor of the foundation building, and Shu Hua to the 8th floor of the foundation building. This is the core force of China today. As for the other foundation building realms, either they came to China later, or they were promoted to foundation building realms in the past few years. Huakai put all its main resources on the ascension of the core high qualified members of the family owner. The number of wild beasts in China this winter is not much worse than before. However, the news that Huakai sent back from the grassland areas of Qin and Chu states that the number of wild beasts in various places this year is much higher than before. Many countries in the Central Plains have been overwhelmed by wild beasts. In January, there was news from Guangling County that 2 intermediate demonic beasts appeared in the 3 cities of Guangling City, Yandu City, and Ping'an City in Guangling County, and the number of junior demonic beasts was about to reach 10. Huakai rode Luma with only 8. I arrived at Yandu City, Guangling County in just a few hours. There was an intermediate demonic beasts and 5 junior demonic beasts by the sea. Huakai severely injured the intermediate demonic beasts and killed a junior demonic beasts, which solved the problem of Yandu City. Surrounding. After entering February, Qin, Chu, and Lu all heard the news that some cities were broken by wild beasts. Lu lost 4 cities in the wild beasts this year. The people lost more than 700,000 people, which was the largest loss among all countries. This is because Lu state does not have a gold core realm, and the territory suddenly more than doubled, and their defensive ability is limited. King Han has only made 2 shots in Lu, and he drove away the 2 middle-level demonic beasts and stopped. From the perspective of the strong increase in the number of demon beasts and demonic beasts this year, the number of demonic beasts this year is still under control. The number has increased by more than 50%, and the number of desolate beasts has more than doubled. In this state of development, the number of wild beasts and demonic beasts will inevitably increase, and the test of various countries is still to come. In February, Huakai was busy among the 10 counties in China. Although Jialiu County has 59 cities, more cities than the other 10 counties in China, the situation in Jialiu County is the most stable. Huakai puts his mind on it is still placed on Zhongshan County and the 6 southern counties. There is the heavenly horse-level Luma, which can fly for a long time in the air, and Huakai can travel more than 300 miles in an hour without stopping. This winter, no wild beast has penetrated the outer walls of the city. 92%. Chapter 525. Lian Po in Journey to the West. In March, the land recovered and the ice and snow subsided. Huakai has confirmed the development plan for China this year. The focus of China's development this year is to build the post and pavilions on the commercial roads in the southern 6 counties, ascension and militia training for urban defense in the 6 counties, ascension of the people's life level. This year, China Euro's 3 major departments need to be deployed in all 6 counties. Wahia Euro's weapons shops, medicine pill shops, and bookstores will all be established in major cities, and all city colleges and schools will also be established. This will cost a lot of money. Of funds. However, ascension of the people's cultural level has been demonstrated in Jialiu County. The prosperity of newspapers requires the people's cultural level as the foundation. The prosperity and development of China is inseparable from these people who are all literate. Fortunately, the Chinese family came from Qi, and China unified the use of simplified Qi characters, which made basic education in China a lot easier. The people also knew the importance of literacy, and they all learned the Qi characters they were familiar with. Not disgusted. Huakai just finished writing a chapter of The Romance of the 3 Kingdoms, and there are more than 10 chapters before the end of The Romance of the 3 Kingdoms. However, The Romance of the 3 Kingdoms still has not been promoted to the scriptures. Huakai began to wonder if he was writing in the wrong direction. Although the content of the 3 Kingdoms world is rich, and hundreds of academics participate in it, such a reference cannot be recognized by Heavenly Tao, and the 3 Kingdoms world is several levels lower than the Journey to the West. Putting away the original text of the Romance of the 3 Kingdoms, Huakai saw Hua Chengmin come outside his study. Father. Hua Chengmin saluted Huakai. Are you leaving? Huakai looked at Hua Chengmin and asked. I want to go to the country of you first, and then get to know all walks of life in China after returning to China. The guard boy will choose 2 first-class guards. Hua Chengmin said. Hua Jiading has now changed its name to Royal Guards. Most of them are not in the palace. They help Hua Jia manage and protect various industries, which is a force that China cannot ignore. Let Qing Jirtai follow you. Many things are difficult to handle without foundation building. Hua Kai said. Qing Jirtai is the oldest special-level family member of the Chinese family, and he has now entered the foundation-building realm. He has a better understanding of grasslands and is the most suitable company to accompany Hua Chengmin. Urchin obeyed. Hua Chengmin left after saying enough. Hua Kai looked at his son's back, and suddenly felt whether he had taken this step too early. Hua Chengmin was only 5.5 years old, and he would bear more and more things on his shoulders. But when he turned his head and thought, he couldn't treat him like an ordinary person. All of this was his own choice. Hua Kai would not give him any practical tasks before he was 18 years old. Since The Romance of the 3 Kingdoms did not become a sacred scripture, Hua Kai stopped writing. He entered the world of Journey to the West and felt that the world of Journey to the West was running. As the heavenly Tao of this world, the sinking of Huakai mental energy into the world helped him comprehend the power of will and mental energy's ascension. Lian Po is now under King Yu of Luzhou, North Ju, as a powerful force in the hands of King Yu, with 100,000 manual demon soldiers. Although the strength is not strong, no one dares to provoke him. Because every time Lian Po, who is transformed into a rhinoceros demon, receives a fatal attack, he will trigger his talent skills, which makes him the person most likely to change the process of Journey to the West. Huakai is not afraid of changes in the process of Journey to the West. There is still a lot of power in the world of Journey to the West. As long as the big plot is not changed, small changes can only make the world more stable. Huakai mental energy sank into the Journey to the West world and gave Lian Po an adventure, allowing him to obtain the highest level of mind and a hand of divine armament. He hopes that Lian Po can stay in the Journey to the West for a period of time, and it is best to stick to the story. Finish. As the worship brother of Sun Wukong, King Yu Tamarin ranks third in strength among the 7 saints. The world Euro sages are all gold core cultivation base, and the 4-tier cultivation base of the gold core realm of King Yu has been ranked in the top 20 in the westward journey world, except for the Sun Wukong, Tathagata, etc. In the heyday, a few people can beat him. He is also regarded as one of the great powers in the world on journey to the west. Lien Po's current demon commander level is equivalent to the foundation building level. Hua Kai hopes that he will be able to ascension to the foundation building level Zochin and even the gold core level in the remaining time. Ida Euro much better to be under King Yu than in Heaven Court. There are still 170 years to learn from, and Ida Euro the craziest killing moment in the last 12 years. When Heavenly Dao's origins will explode, the world is full of killing power. As long as you can live, you can get a big breakthrough if you go down. The most important thing to enter the trial of Journey to the West is the last 12 years. After being immersed in the world of Journey to the West for more than 10 days, Hua Kai felt a little bit. He calculated that it was almost the appointed time to go to the fairy island of Beishan, and then woke up from the world of Journey to the West. Back in the chamber, Hua Kai saw that everyone was discussing the trip to Beihai Shandao. Many members of the family had already gone to Yan country to reserve a place to wait, but there was no message about Shandao on the surface of China. On the one hand, we can also see that the Chinese dominance over China is very strong. How are your preparations for going to Beihai to explore Shandao? The departure of the family will attract the attention of the people. Hua Kai looked at Wushu Hua Zichin and asked. Hua Zichin has now stepped down as the head of the Azure Dragon Corps to concentrate on managing the macro adjustments of the military academy. Hua Kai also handed over all the intelligence of China to him to manage. In the future, the Hua family corps will be withdrawn from the various corps, departments, and administrative departments. Come out, concentrate on cultivation as long as you are responsible for the general direction. Your Majesty, a total of 4,128 members of the family have agreed to gather at Guju City in Yan Country on March 20th. Now there are nearly 1,000 people. Yan Country has tried to hide the whereabouts of our personnel, and everything is normal now. Thousands of the undead corps have now passed Yanshan and should be there in a week. There are 34 foundation buildings in China and 644 guards have not set off yet. They are waiting for your news. Hua Zichin said to Hua Kai. Order to go down. Let the palace guards leave in batches tomorrow, and leave after 3 days above the foundation building level. Everyone will gather on the boat on the night of March 19th. Hua Kai said. The entire country of China and the country of Yan are quietly preparing for the exploration of Beihai Fairy Island. A fragment of the world that has been handed down from ancient or even ancient times is of incalculable value, and this is likely to make the human race take off quickly. At this time, Hua Chengmin had already left Huacheng for 11 days. He was coming out of Jialiucheng on the way to Baoyuguan. My son, we have been here for more than 10 days. We haven't even arrived at the Leopard Jade Pass. When will we be able to reach the Moon Kingdom? Qing Jirtai rode a horse, slowly walking down the road. Asked Hua Chengmin. What's the hurry? You look at the business groups everywhere on the road. We can also experience this business style with these caravan handles and escorts. By the way, Qing Jirtai used to go to business with my father and king. Yes, I am afraid I know this business very well. Hua Chengmin asked when he looked at Qing Jirtai. Haha, to talk about business, our Hua family started from business. Even if we moved from Guangxian County to Jialiu County, business is the main income of the Hua family. I think that when the king was only 13 years old, he led our Wahia caravan to the Ordos tribe. At that time, the Ordos tribe was not the Huns, but just a middle-level tribe. The king brought dozens of Chinese members from Guangzhou, from the county to the Huns. Qing Jirtai was still full of pride when he talked about the events 20 years ago. The Hua family was able to have today. Hua Kai led the family members step by step. It has been 20 years since he came to the Hua family, the eldest child. Both are getting married soon. Hua Chengmin has also heard about the history of the rise of the Hua family, which can be bought at any Huaguo bookstore, but when Qing Jirtai said that he had experienced the storms with Hua Kai, Hua Chengmin could no Euro T help but stand in awe, and Hua Kai walked all the way. I have also experienced countless winds and rains. Hua Chengmin listened carefully to what Qing Jirtai said. Another entourage is less than 30 years old, but he is also one of the best guards of the king's palace in China. Riding a horse and listening carefully. Master, look, Qing Jirtai suddenly saw a group of cavalry coming in the distance. Which troop is this? Why is it so overbearing? Hua Chengmin said unhappily when he saw the merchant group give way to the army. It looks like it is the Azure Dragon Legion. The Azure Dragon Legion is of great significance to Jialiu County and Leopard Yuguan. They are the patron saint of the people. I think that when the Hua family just arrived in Jialiu County, the Donghu country was powerful, and there were more than 300,000 bandits in Beishan. These wars established the position of the Hua family in the northeastern part of the Central Plains. There is Azure Dragon in the northern tribe and no one dares to come to me in China. Qing Jirtai explained to Hua Chengmin. Hua Chengmin was full of enthusiasm and wished he was a member of the Azure Dragon Legion. He has seen Azure Dragon Legion soldiers many times. Many of the core members of the Chinese family are Azure Dragon Legion generals, but standing on this land and listening to Qing Jirtai's story of the year, it is completely different from what his grandfather and the others told. At this time, a group of hundreds of Azure Dragon Corps soldiers came from a distance, and Hua Chengmin was about to make way for the opponent on horseback, but was stopped by Qing Jirtai. The leader of the opposing cavalry was a middle-aged 6th-floor Shantian realm, who appeared to be about the same age as Qing Jirtai. Most of the high-level seniors in the Azure Dragon Legion were the first high-qualified slaves who followed Huakai, and the average age was over 40 years old. General Qing Jirtai, why are you here? The captain of the Azure Dragon Legion obviously knew Qing Jirtai. Captain Mandu Latu, the sun is here, don't come to see you soon. Qing Jirtai said. The Azure Dragon Legion 100 squad saw Hua Chengmin sitting on the horses dismounting and bowing to him on one knee. Hua Chengmin stepped down to help but was blocked by Qing Jirtai. All please get up, you can go on patrol. Leave me alone, Hua Chengmin said. Hua Chengmin always felt a little uncomfortable seeing Azure Dragon soldiers kneeling to him on one knee. These soldiers are the best soldiers in China, but he has not made any contribution to China. How did he suffer? They give a big gift. 92%. Chapter 526. Captain Qing Jirtai, why don't you let me dismount and help them up? Hua Chengmin asked Qing Jirtai puzzledly as he watched the Azure Dragon soldiers leave. My son, you are the son of China, and they are the sharpest knives in China. You don't need to thank the knife to kill an enemy with a knife, but to thank the person who uses the knife. The king gave them everything, and it was their duty to protect the country, and the prince must not dismount. Qing Jirtai said. Hua Chengmin thinker Qing Jirtai's words, his father called Qing Jirtai to accompany him, it must have his deep meaning. Qing Jirtai said that he does not need to support these soldiers, if they support themselves today, what will these soldiers do? The more he thought about Hua Chengmin, the more he felt that something was wrong. After all, he is the son of China. It is better for him not to participate in the management of the country and the army. Father let himself see and learn more, and he suddenly understood. Thank you, Captain Qing Jirtai, for your guidance. Chengmin didn't think about a lot of things when he was young. In the future, Captain Qing Jirtai needs more guidance. Hua Chengmin said. The son has a heart for the people. He is the emperor, and his understanding is far beyond ordinary people. In the future, he will become the lord of China's Zongxing like the king. It is my honor to be able to help the son. Qing Jirtai saw Hua Chengmin can comprehend so quickly, can't help but say happily. The three began to gallop towards the Baoyu Pass. They left the road and ran straight. Shenju didn't care about any mountains or rivers. They arrived outside the Baoyu Pass in less than an hour. My son, this is the Leopard Yuguan, the first hero in China. Half of all the wars of the Hua family were fought here before the founding of the country, but since Donghu County and Beishan County were controlled by us, there has been no war here. Qing Jirtai said to Hua Chengmin. Go, enter the customs and see. Guard Bagan, you lead the horse and walk a little farther away from us, otherwise everyone knows that we are riding the gods, Bufin, and we will be watched again when we stroll around. Hua Chengmin said to another guard. Hua Chengmin had just arrived in Jialiu City and wanted to see the life of ordinary people, but he rode a horse, and everyone knew that his identity was not simple. As a result, he was watched for a day, and finally returned to the Jialiu City Palace before leaving. The crowd watched. Ha, the main reason is that you are too special, you are too special. A 5 or 6-year-old kid who can ride a horse, who else is there besides you in this world? I think we don't want to sit in the city Lord Euro's mansion, or just go out and enter. On the grassland, Huashuan has managed well in Beishan in recent years. We can stay in Beishan for more time. Qing Jirtai suggested to Hua Chengmin. Forget it. Or else, how about we try to put on makeup? Let's join the merchant group and go to the Moon Kingdom. Wouldn't it be more interesting? Hua Chengmin said to Qing Jirtai. Hua Chengmin and the three of them put on makeup and joined a trade group. Hua Chengmin gave the three god horses a piece of white and one black. I hope that the three of them can be more ordinary. Dona Eurot, you know that the gods are not just hares. The difference is that the person in charge of the business group felt that the three were wrong when he first joined the business group. In the end, Qing Jirtai quietly told the person in charge of the business group Hua Chengmin's identity, and the three of them entered the business group and went all the way west. The camera turns to the other side. Thousands of people are talking on the shore 50 miles north of Guju City in Yangguo. They are wearing various armors, and they have at least one weapon above the 6th rank in their hands. The king is here, suddenly shouted. Everyone turned their heads and looked over. Hua Kai was riding on Lu Ma spreading a pair of snow-white wings, and was flying towards here. Many people looked at all this with excitement. Hua Kai flew to the sea to explore the depth here with mental energy, and then put down the floor ship in the sea. Everyone in China stepped on the water and rushed towards the loud boat, and in a short while, many people stood on the splint. Everyone is coming, Hua Kai asked, looking at Hua Mo in front of him. Hua Mo came here 5 days ago. He first explored the location of the coast and the depth of the water, and then gathered everyone together. This is the first time that China organized so many masters to explore treasures. Everyone arrived in the morning, and I scattered the people to other places so as not to encounter the crazy demonic beasts. Hua Mo said. Well, let everyone get on the ship quickly and the palace guards to maintain order. We must be careful when we go out to sea for the first time, and tell everyone about the discipline and requirements after going to the island. Hua Kai said to Hua Mo. Hua Kai gave all families 2 choices. The first one would follow the Hua family's army, and half of all the harvest would go to the Hua family. The other is to pay a boat fee of 100 gold, and leave the team on Shandao, and all the things obtained belong to him. I have already told them that only more than 20 small and medium-sized families choose to act alone, and everyone else chooses to act with our undead legion. Hua Mo said. This time the foundation building of China has basically come, and Shui Chen led a few foundation buildings to guard China. Shui Chen has fairy soldiers who can deal with intermediate demonic beasts, and their combat power is stronger than Hua Mo. Therefore, Hua Kai asked Shui Chen to stay. In addition, Shui Chen's dragon carp inkstone has a lot of space and can transmit treasures and materials with Hua Kai in the family secret realm space. Hua Kai came to the 6th floor of the building. This winter, Hua Kai has been using gold core ascension to improve the quality of the building. If the energy in the 9th floor of the gold core is not used, it will not increase so many gold cores. When you see your own breakthrough hopeless, use gold core energy to ascension own Lingbao quality. Hua Kai has made the ascension of the building ship to the level of the middle grade Lingbao. The hull has not changed, and the ship's defense and power system ascension has been greatly improved. In the evening, Hua Mo told Hua Kai that all the people have arrived. There are more than 1,200 houses on the 6 floors of this building. It is very easy for 6,000 people to live normally. This time, there are less than 6,000 people who went to Beihai Shandao. Hua Kai let Hua Mo divides all Qi training realms and Shantian realms into 15 teams. Each team has about 400 people taking turns pedaling. The foundation building realm can concentrate on dealing with demonic beasts in the sea. Before dawn the next morning, Hua Kai saw a special boat a few miles to the east of Lu Chuan. Lu Chuan began to approach the boat, and the boat saw it heading towards the eastern part of the North Sea. Hua Kai did not ride Luma and came to this small boat. This small boat is about 30 meters long and only 5 meters wide. It is densely packed with nearly 100 people. Everyone is wearing Hua Kai for half a month. The Kinga Euro-S dragon scale armor. More than a dozen of the foundation building realm have no armor, and they must have spirit armor or spirit soldiers. The King of China was on time. Last time we spent 3 months, and the two took turns driving the spirit boat to reach Fairy Island. We also wasted a lot of time to find Fairy Island. If the road goes well this time, probably you can arrive in more than a month. How fast is your ship? Can you keep up? King Yan asked when Hua Kai came over. The normal speed is 120 miles per hour. If there is an emergency, it can be as fast as 200 miles. Hua Kai said. 120 miles. My spirit boat belongs to a clipper, with a speed of 80 miles per hour. If the fastest can reach 160 miles per hour, it is very rare for such a huge ship to have such a speed. King Yan looked at Hua Kai and said, arrive. I think you are squeezed like this here, or if you let everyone go upstairs, it will be safer on the big boat. Hua Kai said. King Yan thought for a while and nodded. He controlled the Lingzhou to slowly approach the building. When the distance between the two sides was only 100 meters, everyone in the Lingzhou just moved towards the building. King Yan was in the Shantian realm. It's easy to get to the boat from a little distance. After everyone left, Hua Kai and King Yan were captured in the void, and the spirit boat turned into a small model and flew into King Yan's mind. They also went upstairs to the 6th floor of the ship. King China, next time I want to borrow this spirit treasure from you. This manifestation is much stronger than ordinary spirit treasures. It is difficult for ordinary ships to navigate in the deep sea. This fairy island is far away. After passing through many dangerous areas, only this kind of large spirit ship can be safer. King Yan said to Hua Kai. Large spirit ships are more likely to attract large demonic beasts. Later, King Yan, you control the direction of the building, and everyone rotates the power of the building. We should be able to speed faster. Hua Kai said. The huge boats began to sail on the North Sea. Based on what Hua Kai had learned about this sea area in his previous life, King Yan was actually walking along the coastline. Hua Kai had already explored the terrain of this world. The world map is similar, so no matter how King Yan walks, Hua Kai can have a general idea in his mind. The boat travels between 120 and 150 miles per hour, and each team is changed for 3 hours. One team will continue to board. The ship can be rotated once in almost 2 days. Sometimes the foundation building and 2 gold core environments are also used. Mental energy will be injected to speed up the ship. 7 days later, they have traveled more than 10,000 miles. King Yan began to adjust his direction and started driving east. Hua Kai thought that the purpose this time would be the place composed of the 4 islands in his memory. He didn't want them to turn around and start driving south after driving more than 2,000 miles. That area is called Shanghai. It is the sea area with the most savage beasts recorded. Once you enter, it is difficult to come out again. Legend has it that after passing through Shanghai, you will enter a special area. Since ancient times, countless ships have sailed into Shanghai. Unable to come out again, some people suspect that there are countless great monsters in the Star Sea. King Yan said to Hua Kai. Hua Kai nodded. It may not be that the drawings that King Yan or Yan Wang knew were detouring, but this road was the safest way, because Hua Kai knew that there were always storms in the sea after going out to sea, and they were calm along the way. Not even a demonic beasts. The road we are walking belongs to the edge of Shanghai. There are fewer fierce beasts and savage beasts in the sea. It will be safer to travel south from here. I felt like I was detouring last time. It took an extra month and a half to get to Shandao after completing the blueprint route, Euro Yan Guo said. Hua Kai knows that the civilization of a world can be divided into 3 types: navigational civilization, nomadic civilization, and farming civilization. Because the sea is more dangerous than land in this world, the navigational civilization will be more difficult. It is basically difficult for the human race to leave the coastline hundreds of miles away. The nautical chart does not know how much time and life it took to slowly summarize it. He needs to keep in mind all the areas that he has passed. China will definitely have the opportunity to explore the entire sea area in the future. 93%. Chapter 527 Storm Zone. On April 12, 2006, Hua Kai went to sea on the 23rd day. Lu Chuan turned left and turned right at sea, basically keeping the direction of southbound. Hua Kai drew according to his virtual space picture, and now it should be about 1400 miles east of Ju. They have already entered the East China Sea. King of China, we will enter the most difficult area next. The next 900 miles will be in the storm zone. We must pass at the fastest speed. Last time, Wang Zhao and I drove a spirit boat for 6 hours to pass here. Let everyone hold on to the hull. King Yan looked at Hua Kai and said. From the very beginning, Hua Kai knew that this road would not be easy. Finding the fairy island would not be so easy. However, Hua Kai was very confident in the own boat. Can't help. Bring all the Shantian realms together. The next step must be the fastest speed in this storm zone. The Shantian realm speed is much faster than the Qi training realm, and all foundation building realms are injected with mental energy to speed up the ship. Waiting for everyone, the preparations were almost the same, and everyone found that the waves around them were getting bigger and bigger. This area, the will of thunder, is very strong, and the entire sea area is affected by it, but this is the easiest way to enter the fairy island. According to the blueprint, the other areas are the death zone full of demonic beasts. Hua Kai said. As the boat continued to advance southward, the waves grew louder and louder, and thunderous sounds began to appear in the sky. After a while, there was a heavy rain. A few meters high waves hit the ship Euro's body, and the entire hull was shaking, but there were not many other sounds in the ship. Everyone stayed quietly in their room, or they were providing power to the ship. Charged above the sea like a giant whale. Wakai could feel the chaos of the surrounding water will. The sky in front was dark, and purple lightning flashed across the sky, illuminating the road ahead from time to time. Then there was thunder, and the sound of the shaking waves seemed to be much smaller. A huge wave of more than 30 meters came from a distance. After Huakai saw it, mental energy plunged into the hull. When the huge wave hits the hull, the entire building seemed to be shattered, and the hull was all covered by the waves. It was submerged, and the entire hull was tilted more than 30 degrees, and everyone was holding on to the handrails of the room to prevent it from falling. Wakai and King Yan both controlled the boat and insisted on rushing to the distance. At this moment, everyone could deeply feel the power of Tianwei. As long as they are struck by the lightning with bad luck, there is basically no chance of survival. As time passed, Huakai felt that the defensive power of the ship was constantly weakening. If the strength of the will of the ship was consumed by the infinite waves, the ship would most likely disperse and everyone would be finished. Dare to careless mental energy continues to invest in the building and ship, helping the building and ship to bear more damage. Our speed is already close to 200 miles per hour. Now it has been almost 3 hours in the past and we should have entered the center of gravity in the storm zone. If we hold on for a while, the storm will be smaller. King Yan saw Wakai's face pale and said to Wakai, "The ship is Huakai Euro's spirit treasure. Huakai now spends mental energy to protect the hull, indicating that this ship has reached its limit. If this spirit treasure is damaged, none of them can survive." At the moment when King Yan was communicating with Huakai, a burst of lightning flashed across the sky and fell not far from the building. Huakai suddenly felt that his whole person lost his senses for an instant. The lightning did not hit the building, only the building. A kilometer away from the ship, everyone in the entire building was unconscious by this lightning strike. Many aura training realms could not withstand the lightning damage. They vomited a mouthful of blood. The building lost control and Huakai Euro's protection was huge. The waves hit the ship, and everyone on the ship could feel the power of the waves. After 2 breaths, Wakai woke up. This lightning had a paralyzing effect, causing the mental energy to lose control, and it had the greatest impact on their spirit ships. Huakai hurriedly took out a medicine pill to restore mental energy and put it in the mouth. Mental energy helped the ship take the damage, and then controlled the ship to move forward. Soon King Yan and all the foundation building realms were awake. They did not dare to stop and hurriedly invest in mental energy to speed up the speed of the building and ship. Only by quickly leaving this area can they be truly safe. If the ship continued to travel in such a huge wave, if it was an ordinary ship, it was likely to be broken by the waves early. Everyone in the ship was awake. They began to rescue the wounded, and the speed of the ship quickly increased again. Everyone was fully engaged in the voyage. I don't know when they finally felt that the sound of the waves outside the ship seemed to be a little lower. After a while, the sound of the waves became inaudible. At this time, many people cheered happily. The feeling of the aftermath of the catastrophe made many people know that treasure hunting is not a simple matter. Everyone speeded up the boat and sailed out of this stormy area. This place has left the storm zone, and the next is the most difficult time. The last time we used the boat, the 2 gold core targets were small. This time the difficulty may be much greater than last time. This place should no longer belong to the East China Sea territory. Do you feel that the wind and water will power here is much stronger than other will powers, and the spiritual chi here is also much stronger than before? The King Yan said to Wakai. Will there be a lot of demonic beasts here? How far is it from the destination? Wakai couldn't help asking. There are about 1,600 miles left. We need to pass through several dangerous sea areas. The density of demonic beasts here is many times higher than that of the mainland. If the ship is attacked by a large number of demonic beasts, it is likely to be damaged. Yan Wang said. How long will it take to meet demonic beasts? Wakai said. At the current rate of up to 2 hours. We'd better take a break. About 1 day is enough. If we stay still here for a long time, it will attract the attention of the nearby demonic beasts. Even the junior demonic beasts in the sea will be noticed. We are all very difficult to deal with beasts. Yan Wang said. Let others move slowly. If you take this pill, mental energy will recover 10 times as fast as ascension within 3 days, and it will also recover mental energy's injuries. The next step is to look at us. Wakai looked at King Yan and said. How this fairy island was discovered. Huakai does na euro t need to guess. Ida euro s definitely not easy every time you come here, but if you can step into this fairy island, you will definitely gain a lot. Huakai is not afraid that King Yan will spoil himself. Mind, because he discovered that King Yana Euro's loyalty has always been in ascension. King Yan has completely offended Qin Zheng and offended Zhao Dan again. If he offends Huakai again, there will be no place for him to survive in the entire eastern China. Don't be afraid of Yan Wang Pit himself. Back to his room on the 6th floor, everything in the entire room fell to the ground in disarray. Huakai lay on the bed and quickly entered the dream concept sleeping space. To restore mental energy, it is the fastest way to enter the sleeping space. 3 hours later, Huakai opened his eyes and felt his whole body refreshed. He felt that hundreds of giant swordfish-like fish were attacking the hull of the ship. These swordfish were fierce and unusually attacking the bottom of the ship. The defense of the entire building continued to decline. Some foundation building realms with spiritual soldiers stand at the stern and look at the swordfish following the ship. As long as they find the other side of the spirit soldiers out of the water, they will throw them out. These swordfishes that have reached the 5th level of strength will be killed, and that a euro s it. A fierce swordfish jumped directly onto the ship's splint. As soon as it got on the splint, it was killed by several Shantian realms. Brother, there are more and more sea beasts. Now tier 6 sea beasts have appeared. When attacked by so many sea beasts, the defense of the building ship has dropped very quickly. Wamo looked at Huakai and said worriedly. He is a soil attribute, here. It is difficult for him to play 10% of his strength at sea. If the ship is destroyed, everyone on the ship will have no chance of surviving. I'll guarantee the hull defense. You give us control of the direction. Let's speed up and pass here quickly and let King Yan block demonic beasts. Yu Jun's ballista should be no less powerful than King Yan. Huakai said. The Lingbao class continuous ballista has a lock function. Even if Yu Jun can't shoot the junior demonic beasts with a single crossbow, it can cause them to be seriously injured and lose their combat effectiveness. This is more effective than killing them directly. Everyone on the ship suddenly felt that the surroundings suddenly became cold, and a layer of sky blue ice appeared on the bottom of the ship to cover the entire hull. Those sea beasts could not directly penetrate the ice on the hull, and launched an attack. The speed of these sea beasts became slow in an instant, and their reaction was much slower. Everyone knows that Huakai is already using the power of will to increase the defensive power of the entire hull. Everyone dare not waste time and drove toward the destination with all their strength, and they got rid of a lot of sea beasts that followed. After a while, Huakai felt a few powerful auras approaching the ship, and he knew that demonic beasts had appeared in the sea. Huakai did not take the opportunity to demonic beasts, and use the power of ice will to strengthen the hull defense. Without the power of will of more than 6 floors, it would be difficult to cause substantial damage to the ship. All foundation building realms on the ship also watched the demonic beasts from the outgoing wandering vigilantly. They saw that the demonic beasts on the seabed attacked the hull of the ship without much effect. Huakai could still persist, so they focused all their energy on the speed of the ship. The faster the speed of the ship is, the frequency of demonic beasts' attacks on the ship will be much slower, which also reduces the pressure on Huakai. After 3 hours of walking like this, there are fewer and fewer sea beasts around the ship, and more demonic beasts gather. All the Shantian realm and below the late stage put their minds on the speed of the ship, and only Shantian 7 on the ship a Euro S splint they used mental energy to locate the demonic beasts and found that there was a threat to the hull. They organized an offensive. They could not kill and drive away to relieve Huakai Euro S pressure. At this time, King Yan finally returned from the lounge. When he came to the splint, everyone felt relieved. 93%. Chapter 528 Sky Blue Whale. Wang Zhao told me that this sea route belongs to various sea border areas, and sea beasts are also regionally divided. Once other sea beasts enter their own area, they will attack them, so it is safest to pass along their borders. Watching Huakai said to him. Probably how far is there? There are more and more demonic beasts behind the ship. There are more than 3 intermediate demonic beasts. I can hold on for about 6 hours at most. You'd better keep those few intermediate demonic beasts. Drive away. Huakai said to King Yan. We too took the spirit ship twice. The goal was not as big as today. At that time, we were at most 3 demonic beasts following together. We had better not attack this demonic beasts. If we angered his race, maybe we will have big trouble. The difference of 6 hours is not enough. Let all those who don't Euro T have spiritual soldiers join me in speeding up the boat. After about 400 miles, we will enter the Sky Blue Whale Sea area. We need to pass directly through this sea area, because the fairy island we are looking for is in the Sky Blue Whale waters. The Sky Blue Whale is the overlord of the sea and has the strength of demonic beasts in adulthood. Ordinary demonic beasts dare not enter the Sky Blue Whale waters. As long as I am fast, the Sky Blue Whale should not be able to catch up with our ship. The King Yan said. Hua Kai agreed to King Yana Euro's proposal. After all, everyone is now a grasshopper on a rope. Hua Kai does not have much experience with sea trips and does not know much about this sea area. As the boat went south at full speed, Hua Kai felt that the speed had reached 200 miles per hour, which was considered a very terrifying speed. The demonic beasts that attacked the boat were more than half less than before. As King Yan said, ascension speed is the best way to reduce stress. After half an hour, the ship turned around and headed west. It should have reached about 1,400 miles in the eastern sea area of Wu State in Dongtu Shenzhou. King Yan has been directing the ship to drive along the borders of various sea animal areas so that they can be safer. After driving for an hour, the sky gradually darkened, but everyone did not dare to rest. They were already close to the Sky Blue Whale waters. After entering the Sky Blue Whale waters, Hua Kai found that all the demonic beasts behind him suddenly disappeared, and the entire building around the ship became a little quiet. Can make the intermediate demonic beasts give up. This area must have scared them. Hua Kai did not dare to let everyone continue to work hard, and the ship sailed in the direction of the target without slowing down. Another 400 miles will enter the Fairy Island area. There are 2 islands of the same size in the entire Fairy Island area. We must enter from a specific area at sunrise every morning, otherwise it may be a lifetime after falling into the outer defense of the island. I can't get out either. King Yan was talking to Hua Kai, suddenly feeling that several powerful auras were approaching in front of him. Hua Kai felt a huge figure over 100 meters in the sea approaching the ship. He hurriedly used the mental energy basic building ship to defend. He only heard, boom. With a sound, the whole body of the building swayed, and a large area of the ice layer attached to the bottom of the building was crushed by this Sky Blue Whale, and the defense of the building was greatly reduced. Hua Kai hurriedly used the ice wall to repair the ice on the hull. This Sky Blue Whale was just a junior demonic beast, but its attack power was stronger than many intermediate demonic beasts. I saw the blue whale that day. It was also dizzy when hitting itself. It stabilized its body and continued to chase the ship. The speed of the blue whale is not very fast this day. It is not a bit slower than the full-speed boat. Hua Kai watched the Sky Blue Whale behind the boat gradually go away, but he did not dare to care at all, because there were 3 more than that one. The guy who was even bigger than the Sky Blue Whale had already approached Lu Chuan, and Lu Chuan was hit by 3 of them, and it was likely to be shattered by the impact. The last time I came, I didn't encounter a Sky Blue Whale, right? Most Sky Blue Whales are alone in life. It is already bad luck to meet one. How come there are so many Sky Blue Whales attacking us? King Yan looked at Hua Kai somewhat. Said worriedly. It seems that it won't work if you don't launch an attack. If the 3 Sky Blue Whales are allowed to attack, the boat may really be unable to hold it. We must quickly drive the 3 guys away, or all of us will be in danger. Hua Kai said. King Yan nodded, and the 2 gave up driving the ship. The ice defense at the bottom of the ship could persist for a while even without Hua Kai. Hua Kai is riding Lu Ma. His target is a Sky Blue Whale with demonic beast's middle stage strength. King Yan is going to stop a Sky Blue Whale with demonic beast's early stage, and more than a dozen in the foundation building with spirit soldiers. Deal with the youngest Sky Blue Whale together. The boat continued to move westward under the guidance of the crowd, but the speed kept dropping. Hua Kai rode to the top of the largest Sky Blue Whale, and threw it into the sea with all his strength in his hand. The Scary Night Spear was wrapped in white ice crystals after entering the sea. This is because the Scary Night Spear contained a powerful force of ice. That day, the blue whale seemed to feel the power of the fairy soldier. It suddenly let out a sharp cry. Hua Kai felt that mental energy suddenly felt like he was going to dissipate. Both he and Lu Ma were a little unstable, almost from the sky. Drop. This day, the blue whale will attack mental energy, and it is a special sound-type mental energy attack method. Hua Kai Euro's willpower has 81 points, reaching the level of the gods. Mental energy is also much more than the gold core. He found this Sky Blue. The whale mental energy is not much weaker than him, no wonder the blue whale can become the overlord of this sea area this day. The Sky Blue Whale is so powerful, and mental energy is so powerful. As long as demonic beasts are close to it, it rarely can withstand several attacks from him, and it has the ability to recover quickly, even if it encounters the same rank demonic beasts blew up. Not necessarily going to die. Besides, the sky blue whale of the demonic beast's middle stage saw that his mental energy attack did not have much effect on Huakai. He also knew the huge energy carried by this terrorist gun, and white mist water shields appeared. Night gun ahead. Huakai saw the night gun piercing the water shield and making a metal-like crash. He was shocked by the strength of this sky blue whale. With this ability, the sky blue whale is not afraid of wolves' attack. Power, which allows them to live better alone. The sky blue whale saw that the more than 10 water shields that it had continuously condensed did not work. It clumped up and suddenly exerted force, and its huge tail was about to be thrown at night gun. It dare not try with its body nightmare gun damage. When the scary night spear approached the sky blue whale, a white light flashed, and the scary night spear suddenly disappeared, leaving only the spear-shaped ice sculpture over 30 meters surrounding it, and continued to stab the sky blue whale. The sky blue whale noticed that the thing that gave it a sense of danger suddenly disappeared, and before it had any way to deal with it, the night threat gun had already pierced his body. The huge gun-shaped ice sculpture collided with the tail of the sky blue whale, and all the ice sculptures were crushed by the sky blue whale. Huakai looked at this sky blue whale quietly. Scary Night Spear as a 6th rank fairy soldier is not a bit stronger than Gentiana's spear. I saw that the blue whale felt a slight pain in the body that day, so he used the demon force. Night trembling gun pull out own body. The demon power acting on the night Horkai jumped up from the sea and bit into Huakai. Huakai had been paying attention to the counterattack of the sky blue whale early, and he easily retreated to avoid the opponent's attack. This sky blue whale was more than 160 meters long and half the size of the entire building. It was not easy to herd it by himself. He watched the sky blue whale churn in the sea. After a while, the blue whale seemed to be exhausted. Huakai mobilized the 7 levels of willpower, and then formed a huge ice arrow in the sea to shoot at the sky blue whale. That day, as long as the blue whale wanted to avoid the whole body of demon power, as long as it condensed, more than half of it was absorbed by the night gun. Huakai's huge ice arrow stabbed the sky blue whale, and the sky blue whale's body suddenly had a wound several meters long. The blood was continuously leaving from the wound, and the whole seawater was stained red when left in the sea. That day, the blue whale knew that he was not Huakai's opponent, and turned his head and fled away. Huakai has the ability to kill this sky blue whale, but now the key is to let the ship quickly pass through the sky blue whale area. He has no time to hunt down this huge sky blue whale. Huakai's thoughts moved, and the scary night gun appeared in his hand. The scary night gun can absorb any energy and use these energy to enhance Huakai's attacks. Its main feature is to store various energy. Huakai can to understand the nature of this world by studying these energies. Turning his head, King Yan and more than a dozen foundation building realms were extremely difficult to stop the 2 sky blue whales. Yu Jun shot a giant crossbow arrow in the air. After the crossbow arrow hit the sky blue whale, it could only penetrate less than a foot. The damage can only be said to be a slight injury to a 120-meter-long sky blue whale. The blue whale jumped out of the sea and attacked everyone. Everyone saw here using their own spirit soldiers to attack this junior demonic beasts while retreating to avoid damage. The sky blue whale is indeed much stronger than the ordinary demonic beasts. While sending out a sonic attack at the crowd, he jumped out of the water and used his powerful power to attack the crowd. A fight unfolded in the sea. Although the foundation building realm was embarrassed by this sky blue whale attack, their realm was there, and the sky blue whale had more and more wounds. Huakai came here to support King Yan. Come. Although the sky blue whale fighting with King Yan did not reach the level 8 strength, it was not far away. King Yan's attack had limited damage to this sky blue whale. For a time, it was not as effective as the more than a dozen foundation buildings. The sky blue whale was already within 10 miles of the building. The black spear in his hand kept flying into the sea. Although the blue whale was injured that day, it seemed to have spotted the building. While condensing a huge shield to resist the attack of King Yan, he quickly approached the building. Huakai came to King Yan and saw that more than a dozen foundation building realms had already driven away another sky blue whale. He shot the sky blue whale with the scary night shot. That day, the blue whale saw that Huakai was more difficult to deal with than King Yan. He turned his head and left. 93%. Chapter 529. Back on the building, Huakai, King Yan and others gathered together. This sky blue whale is too big and its defensive power is surprisingly difficult to deal with. Just for a while, everyone's true chi and willpower loss are very serious, but it took less than half an hour to drive into this sea area, and the road behind was still long. The blue whale is not easy to deal with this day, and I found its weakness is in the abdomen. We can't cause fatal damage to it if we can't go deep into the sea. The last time Zhao Dan and I passed through this sea area, we were not attacked. We can't go on like this. Yes. Wang Yan returned to the building and said to Hua Kai. The sky blue whale should have found us by distinguishing the sound. Wouldn't we be less disturbing the sky blue whale if we reduce the sound? Hua Kai thought for a while and said. It should not be. The last time we drove the spirit boat here, we did not encounter a sky blue whale. The spirit boat must also make a sound when driving on the sea. Our spirit boat is controlled by mental energy, and the sky blue whale should feel when it comes to spirit power fluctuates. King Yan said to Hua Kai. Then let everyone stop using any true chi, and try to block own true chi from dispersing. At the same time, everyone is not allowed to make any noise from now on, and all foundation building realms take turns to use mental energy to control the building and ship. Hua Kai ordered. After everyone blocked their true chi, the whole building became quiet. Hua Kai felt that several sky blue whales approaching the building stopped in the distance, indicating that their method was correct. The boat's speed also dropped to 60 miles per hour, and the entire sea was quiet in the middle of the night. It is about 300 miles away from Fairy Island. Before tomorrow morning, everyone should be able to reach the Fairy Island restrictions formation. Many people are too tired to go back to their rooms and rest after a busy day. The boat just floats so quietly. Moving slowly on the sea, Hua Kai closed his eyes and began to meditate and rest. 4 hours later, there was still about 50 miles away from the destination. Hua Kai felt a large area of mist rising from the sea, and the boat passed by in the fog. Suddenly, a strong sense of crisis made Hua Kai feel in his heart. When it was tight, he hurriedly wrapped all mental energy around the building. A layer of ice more than 1 meter thick rose around the building. The temperature of the building dropped to an extremely low level. Many people were frostbited at this moment. Everyone is wondering what happened. At this time, a huge figure suddenly hit the bottom of the building. The newly formed ice layer was instantly shattered. The building was hit directly into the sky, and Hua Kai spit out blood on him. Mental energy was hit hard, and the power of will on the ship continued to surround it, and it was almost broken. The entire building ship was hit hundreds of meters in the sky and rotated several times in the sky before it began to descend. Many people on the ship were seriously injured. Using mental energy to offset 20% of the damage, the remaining 90% of the damage was taken by the ship, and the remaining damage caused thousands of people to be injured. When the building ship was hit high in the sky, the foundation building realities realized that they flew out of the building forcibly. If the demonic beasts who attacked the ship just now came to the building again, everyone might die here. Regardless of his own injury, Hua Kai flew out from the window of his room. He saw the demonic beasts attacking his ship just now. It was a sky blue whale over 240 meters long. The other party had sunk into the water after hitting the ship just now. Launched a second attack on Lu Chuan. The ship can't be destroyed, all to prevent the sky blue whale from destroying the ship. Hua Kai saw that King Yan and many foundation buildings had escaped from the ship and shouted. He has locked down the sky blue whale, and the scary night gun is flying towards the sky blue whale with a thick white light around it. The closer to the sea the night gun becomes bigger and bigger. Hua Kai has already given the night gun to the sky blue whale. Injected into the national fortune, this strike completely surpassed the intensity of the gold core attack. The huge sky blue whale in the sea uttered a scream. Night-threatening gun. Half of the gun body was submerged into his back, and its back's flesh and blood burst instantly. Hua Kai detonated all the energy in night-threatening gun instantly. He believed this: if the strike were on the flood dragon that was in its heyday, it would definitely hurt it severely. The blood instantly stained this sea area. Hua Kai sensed that a 3-meter diameter blood pit was blown out from the back of the sky blue whale. Even so, the sky blue whale was still swimming towards the direction of the ship. S fall. The ship was destroyed. At this time, King Yan and others attacked, and more than a dozen spirit soldiers stabbed this huge sky blue whale together. Because the scary night spear was still on the back of the sky blue whale, it was difficult for him to use his demon power to stop it, and all the attacks fell on the sky blue whale. A strong bursting sound sounded, and various will powers left wounds on the sky blue whale, and the sky blue whale's speed couldn't help but start to slow down. The boat descended from the sky, sank into the sea for a few minutes, and then slowly surfaced. Thousands of people in the boat were thrown to the ground. Huakai and King Yan and other foundation buildings all sank into the sea. Among them, this sky blue whale is less than 3 miles away from the building boat. If he is allowed to get close to the building boat, the current building boat must not be able to withstand the attack of this sky blue whale. A huge fish tail hit Huakai, and ice was formed under Huakai's feet. He quickly dodged the full blow of the sky blue whale. He came to the position of Scary Knight's spear and grabbed the handle of the gun with one hand. Countless ice power was injected into the body of the sky blue whale from Huakai's body, and the sky blue whale's speed suddenly slowed down. It sensed Huakai's threat and wanted to throw Huakai away from his back. Huakai firmly grasped the Knight's spear and ice force continuously entered the sky blue whale. This sky blue whale possesses the strength of the gold core Zochin. It is only one step away from the big demon, but facing the 7th floor. Ice Will was also of no avail. He transported his demon power to attack Huakai on his back, but was absorbed by the Scary Knight's spear. A few water bombs exploded next to Huakai, but were surrounded by him. Blocked by the ice shield. When everyone saw the sky blue whale finally slowed down, all of them suddenly attacked it. King Yan went deep into the bottom of the sea and specifically attacked the weak spots of his abdomen. The entire sea was stained with bright red blood. At this time, Huakai felt that his mental energy was about to be drained. The sky blue whale was already covered by a layer of crystal ice. The sky blue whale began to lose its mobility and slowly began to float to the sea. Huakai was standing on the back of the sky blue whale with the Knight's scary gun in his hand. Everyone saw that the huge sky blue whale had lost the ability to move, and they all came to Huakai. King China, how are you now? King Yan looked at Huakai. If Huakai hadn't foreseen the danger this time, all of them might have died in the mouth of the sky blue whale. The loss of mental energy is a bit big, but I have taken Ling pill and recovered quickly. This sky blue whale is too powerful. Although I control it now, it is not dead yet. You can quickly rescue the injured, get on the boat and leave quickly. When you leave, I will catch up. The blue whale is all mine. I'm suppressing it with the Night gun. If I leave it, I will soon be able to resume action. Huakai said to King Yan, Wamo and others. Everyone who fell into the water was rescued aboard the ship, and the power of will around the ship was erratic. This was because the injury was too heavy and it was about to disintegrate. The ship started gradually, and Huakai saw Wamo and King Yan flying over again. What's the matter? You two also leave quickly. The blood smell is so heavy here, maybe other sea monsters will appear later. Huakai said. Brother, we just discussed that this sky blue whale is much larger than the dragon's body. If we can get it ashore, this sky blue whale is of great value. Wamo said while looking at Huakai. You want to use the same method last time to pull this sky blue whale ashore, but there is no place for us to stop the boat. There are restrictions around the fairy island. How did we get the boat up? Huakai wondered. Road. King China, this sky blue whale is only one step away from the big demon. If it weren't for you to use the fairy soldiers, we would have basically won it. Now there are more than 2 hours before dawn, and we will all assist when the restrictions are opened. Lu Chuan took this sky blue whale to the fairy island. When the restrictions are closed, the blue whale cannot be returned to the sea, so I will slowly kill it. King Yan looked at Huakai and said. Huakai thought about it. Although this sky blue whale is not as long as last year a Euro-S dragon, it is several times larger than the dragon. The key is that the sky blue whale skin can be opened in the foundation building realm, Shantian realm and Chi training realm. It can separate its flesh, and if it can be transported to the island, it will make a lot of money this time. Although the dragon meat is very useful, it is difficult to digest even in the Shantian realm. It is basically used in the gold core realm and the foundation building realm. With this sky blue whale, the middle level combat power of China can be quickly obtained. Ascension. Okay. Then I will try everything. This sky blue whale has 6 levels of water wool, and my power of will can completely suppress it, plus terrorist gun you can go forward with confidence if you encounter other dangers. We put it down for the first time and escaped. Huakai said. King Yan took hundreds of long ropes, one tied to the stern of the building, and the other tied to the huge teeth of the sky blue whale. The boat opened slowly and the sky blue whale also moved, slowly getting faster and faster. Huakai standing on the body of the sky blue whale is like on a huge ship, and soon the sky blue whale speed exceeds 40 miles per hour. Huakai only needs to recover a little bit of mental energy to control the ice will into the sky blue whale. He can feel that the sky blue whale transports water will and resists with all its strength, but water will is encountering ice will all are assimilated in the future. The sky blue whale tried to imprison Wakai with the power of will, but Wakai was completely unmoved. Everyone on the ship is either taking care of the wounded or gathering the bodies of the dead, and the foundation building is fully maneuvering the ship to move forward. The boat was pulling the sky blue whale faster and faster. After an hour and a half, they entered into a thick fog. Huakai used mental energy to detect that the surrounding area was blocked by a special force. This should be the restrictions area outside Fairy Island. NS 93%. Chapter 530. When they arrived at the destination, Wamo and King Yan flew to Wakai. The sun should be out in 20 minutes. Only a few minutes after the sun rises each day, the fog here will dissipate and we can see the Fairy Island. Here comes, King Yan said. Huakai used the eye of reality to look ahead and saw that in the distance is a naturally formed unknown formation. These formations are completely integrated with the entire sea area, and a careless person will never get out. In the formation is a huge island. Huakai is 10 miles away from this island. The island is full of spiritual chi and looks like a fairy homeland. King Yan, is the waterway you can see when the sun comes out is about 100 meters wide, and there is a blue boulder in front of the island. Wakai asked. Yes, the sky blue whale should be able to pass. How did you know? Can you see the fairy island in the fog? King Yan asked in surprise. There is a natural formation outside the island. Perhaps it was arranged in ancient times or in ancient times. It may be because of the long time. Many parts of the formation are missing. What you just mentioned is just one of the gaps, too. The ship that I can see is the easiest to board. Wakai stared into the distance. If someone looked at him at this time, he could see that his eyes were as deep as the night sky. So, can we land on the island now? There is a big island in the east of the island. You can only see it when you reach the east of the island. Last time I explored this island, King Yan said to Huakai. This island is here. The gap is the biggest. It should be because the formation time is too long and there is some damage. I am not sure that the login at these gaps will be safe, or wait. It is not less than 10 minutes. Wakai said I felt that the sky had begun to light up, the sky was faintly bright, and daylight was about to come. It's still too far from the gap here, so everyone accelerates to approach the Fairy Island area. These spiritual mists actually block mental energy's detection. You should look for the direction and accelerate the ship. Wakai commanded. The speed of the boats began to increase, and the closer to the island, the shallower the water became, but the boats traveling on it would not run aground. Time waits for no one, and Wakai does not want to try to enter the Fairy Island before the time is up. He originally had Cao Shayi that can ignore any restrictions, but now he needs to control the sky blue whale and can only go to the Fairy Island first, and then slowly explore the formations around Shandao. The boat was driving in the fog, and everyone's mental energy could not detect everything around it, which made them feel very uncomfortable. No one knows what the environment ahead is, whether the ship on the floor will hit where in the next second. When encountering this kind of fog, everyone's first reaction is to leave, or stay on the ground and wait for the fog to pass, otherwise it will go too far. It's too dangerous. However, Huakai's orders are still implemented by everyone. Even the Yanguo Foundation building sees that Huakai has to be much stronger than Yanwang in terms of strength and leadership and command ability. Huakai is the backbone of everyone in times of crisis. The ship sailed across the sea quickly, and Wamo adjusted the direction of the ship through continuous communication with Huakai. When the first ray of sunlight hit the ground in the morning, the fog on the sea was slowly dissipating. The ship was still 3 miles away from the target gap. Everyone standing on the ship saw the island in the distance, and everyone couldn't help but start yelling. Wakai was on the back of the sky blue whale and was controlling the sky blue whale to prevent it from moving. Suddenly a powerful mental energy swept across him. Wakai couldn't help looking into the distance. This mental energy is far more powerful than any creature Huakai has ever encountered. Huakai's 81 points of willpower feels very weak in front of it. Could it be that the inhabitants here are so powerful as to imagine? If so, they would be really dangerous this time. Huakai couldn't ensure the safety of Own, let alone the nearly 6,000 people who followed him. When they got here, they were hesitating whether to advance or retreat to Huakai. Thinking of Wukong, Wakai mental energy moved. Wukong heard his call and appeared next to him. Wukong can predict danger and treasure. If there is any danger here, Wukong will surely know. Finding that he suddenly came to a huge sea monster, Wukong was still a little excited. He looked at Wakai with a happy look, and pointed to the distant island and yelled excitedly. Wukong, I am calling you here this time to explore the fairy island in front of you. All the things you get must be eaten with my consent, otherwise I won't call you for all future expeditions. Wakai said to Wukong. Wukong nodded in agreement. He pointed to the direction of the island's restrictions gap and signaled Wakai to enter from there. Huakai was relieved when he saw this place. When he first came, he had fortune-told himself, but the result was that the strength of China was greatly increased, and Huakai couldn't find out the specific details anyway. At this time, as the sea fog dissipated, everyone also saw the fairy island in the distance, as well as the gap into the fairy island. Lu Chuan began to speed up, but they were about to rush into the fairy island with the sky blue whale, and now they have to fight hard at the last moment. Huakai felt that the bottom of the ship was getting closer and closer to the seabed reef. Huakai gave up control of the sky blue whale and flew onto the ship. The water in front of the ship was frozen quickly, and the ship began to be covered with ice. Dragging and sliding slowly on the ice, everyone got off the boat at this time, pushing the boat and ran toward the restrictions gap. This time there are many people, and it's much easier to take the sky blue whale out of the sea. The boat flew quickly along the gap, and left and galloped on the slide constructed by Huakai, because everyone was working hard, and the boat's speed actually increased. The faster it came, it quickly jumped into the air. This speed has exceeded its fastest speed in the water. After entering the restrictions gap, Wakai didn't dare to be careless. He used the true eye to check the surroundings of the ship, while constantly paving the way in front of the ship. Everyone was either inside the boat or sliding on the ice with the boat, until they came to the coast. Huakai suddenly made a ramp with seawater in front of him, and the boat flew up into the sky through the ramp. The sky blue whale only reacted slightly at this time. It flew through the air with the boat with its tail wagging. The boat flew thousands of meters before falling from the air. Huakai kept keeping its balance behind the boat before landing. At that time, he formed a large amount of ice under the ship, and the ship slowly stopped. Huakai quickly cut the rope tied to the sky blue whale, and the sky blue whale crossed the top of the ship and landed more than 1,000 meters in front of the ship. All this may seem thrilling, but for so many foundation building environments and gold core environments, it is not a difficult task. When the ship stabilized, Wakai ignored the sky blue whale that was still jumping in the distance and let everyone count the casualties. At that time, the sky blue whale was probably just on their route. It silently hid and intended to give Wakai and others a fatal blow. More than 2,000 people jumped out of the boat and fell into the sea to fight the sky blue whale. Wakai eagerly wanted to know how serious this casualty was. The king, the casualties have been counted. 3 people were killed in the foundation building and 12 people were injured. 24 people were killed in the battle below Shantian, and more than 500 people were injured. Many of the injured were in the cultivation base of Qi training. Hua Peng reported to Huakai. Arrive. This result is much better than Huakai expected. The casualties in the foundation building realm are so large because they have to fight the sky blue whale head-on, and the strength of the aura realm is too weak to face the demonic beasts. Just the aftermath may cause them to be seriously injured or killed. Is this a fairy island? It feels very ordinary, much worse than Huacheng, but the concentration of spiritual qi here is really good. Wamo stepped on the ground, and then felt relieved. He realized the 6 layers soil of the earth will only when he gets to the ground can he have greater performance. King Yan has been with Wamo this time. He married his 2 baby daughters to Wamo. As time went on, he became more proud of his decision, because Wamo is now only 1 step away from the gold core realm. Wamo is just 31 years old, and his future achievements are limitless. Huacheng is one of the blessed places in the world, and spiritual qi here is very sufficient for ordinary people. At least it can increase the cultivation speed of ordinary people more than doubled. This is regarded as the outskirts of Fairy Island. You have to walk more than 200 miles to get inside. You can go to the marked places. Don't rush into the unmarked places. The level of danger here is no worse than that of the sea. Quote. King Yan patiently told Wamo that in the future, the country of Yan will largely depend on China for its development. Huamoa's role is very important, and Wamo controls Shacheng, the most prosperous city in the world, for Yan country. The degree of importance is greater than that of Weiseng. Let everyone don't worry, gather first. We are much safer when we get on the island. This time we will explore the fairy island together with so many people. We will definitely not be able to swarm on this fairy island. The area of this fairy island is very large. All areas are explored again and there is no problem. Let's start again. Next, we have to quickly get rid of this sky blue whale. Although it was suppressed by the scary night gun, the sky blue whale was still so alive when it came ashore. Hua Kai said to everyone in China. All the people of China gathered together, and the 100 people of Yan country stood alone. Hua Kai took the boat back to the Sea of Consciousness and let it repair and recover by itself. King Yan saw this and walked in front of Hua Kai. King China, since we have entered the fairy island, we will leave first. I plan to gather here in 4 months no matter how much we gain. King Yan said to Hua Kai. Wait a minute, first follow me to find Zhao Dan. We find Zhao Dan and we will explore separately. Hua Kai said. This. Zhao Dan must have gained a lot in this fairy island. If he knows that I will be angry when I come back, can we find a way to rescue him when we leave? King Yan said reluctantly. Let everyone rest here for 2 days first. After I solve this sky blue whale, we will go to Zhao Dan together. Human race can't afford to lose the gold core state anymore. Hua Kai said. 93%. Chapter 531. Trapped Zhao Dan. On April 19th, the 7th year of China, more than 6,000 masters from China and Yan were all on a secret fairy island. Hua Kai looked at the sky blue whale that kept jumping in the distance. He was thinking about how to kill it faster and break it down. After all, the blue whale's corpse had to be sent back to China to be considered a success. Several foundation building scenes tried to attack the weak part of his abdomen, but they were almost crushed to death by the huge body of the sky blue whale. In the end, Hua Kai decided to ask Wukong to help. Wukong's current strength at the 8th and 7th levels is much stronger than when he killed the dragon last time. Seeing Wukong holding the Hunyuan Wujin stick in his hand began to grow bigger. Many people knew that this Wahia spirit beast was about to shoot again. The figure of Wukong who grew bigger last time still cannot be erased in many people's minds. Wukong grew up to about 17 meters tall, more than twice the size of the last time. He took the fairy soldier in his hand and hit the sky blue whale on the head. The blue whale seemed to have a premonition of danger and began to jump around. There are even places where people intend to jump. Wukong quickly jumped to the head of the sky blue whale. He Hunyuan Wujin stick danced twice in the air with his energy, and hit the sky blue whale's forehead fiercely. An ear-splitting sound sounded, and the sky blue whale let out a scream, jumping more joyously. Wukong seems to be very dissatisfied with the own effect. The blue whale's head is unexpectedly hard. Wukong's this strike power has reached the peak of the gold core state, but it is unable to cause fatal damage to the sky blue whale. Seeing the other party suffer from pain, Wukong started jumping wildly. He hurriedly followed, and hit the spot where he had just hit with a stick again. The sky blue whale was also stuck with the scary gun. No matter how much demon power it lifted, it was all scary gun. Absorbed, ice will made its speed and response to a minimum. Wukong was able to easily avoid the opponent's counterattack, and then landed on top of the sky blue whale one by one. The sky blue whale had suffered more than 20 sticks and was already in a coma. Even if Wukong had immortal soldiers, he could not fatally harm this sky blue whale. He saw the sky blue whale in a coma. Hunyuan Wujin cudgel and a white light appeared on it. With a huge blow to the sky blue whale's forehead, everyone heard a clear sound of bone cracking. The sky blue whale trembled on the ground and then stopped moving. Hua Kai stepped forward to check that the sky blue whale was dead. He took out the darkness knife to cut its hard skin from the sky blue whale's abdomen from head to tail, and then cut the sky blue whale's body skin that was more than 200 meters long into two. More than 10 paragraphs. This day, the blue whale is much easier to deal with than the dragon. Moreover, Huakaya Euro's strength is stronger than the year before. In less than half a day, the skin of the sky blue whale has been cut in more than 20 places, and its flesh can be cut even if it is trained. Hua Kai asked everyone to deal with the sky blue whale meat first, and he and King Yan first went to see King Zhao's situation. The two went deep into the fairy island and walked for hundreds of miles. Hua Kai saw that there were all kinds of spiritual herbs everywhere, some low-level strange stones were seen everywhere, and many places were obviously still in some pattern packages. No creatures had come here. King Yan may have explored a small part of this fairy island last time. Entering the depths of the fairy island, there are also many animals here. Hua Kai approached them and looked at him vigilantly. It should be a spirit beast. The strength of these spirit beasts is at most tier 6. After walking inward for more than 300 miles, Hua Kai I feel that there are peculiar energy fluctuations in many places. This is the breath of Lingbao, but these Lingbao are protected by various restrictions, and it is not easy to collect them. In this way, Hua Kai knew that he had a good harvest on this trip. He followed King Yan to avoid more restrictions, and followed the road that the two explored last time into the center of the fairy island. Here all kinds of exotic flowers and plants can be seen everywhere. Hua Kai saw that there are many elixir from 3rd rank to 5th rank, but these elixir are guarded by the spirit beast. This is indeed a rare treasure. After climbing over a mountain and coming to a valley, Hua Kai felt that the front was surrounded by huge restrictions, which must be protected by a formation. The two walked to King Taniguchi and stopped. It's here. The last time we entered this formation, Zhao Dan did not escape. Shandong Liangli was the place to get Red Yan Kana. Last time, we destroyed one of the eyes there and took away Hong Yan Kana. The dragon was released. King Yan pointed to the valley and said to Hua Kai, "You're waiting for me here, I'll go in and take a look first." Hua Kai stepped into the restrictions after he said, "Sao Sha Yi." Various spells surround Hua Kai's body, and the restrictions here are not triggered. Hua Kai used Eye of Reality to check here and found that there is a not small lingu in this valley. There is a 10-meter high cliff on the edge of the lake. Spirit liquid flows out from the cracks in the mountain stream and gathers in the lingu. Hua Kai looked at the layout of this formation. It was operated by the surrounding rocks of the valley, and lingu is the formation energy. Only by emptying the spiritual liquid in the lingu can the formation be broken. While he was checking the formation, a mental energy swept across him. Hua Kai's mouth smiled slightly. It was not who Zhao Dan was. How could it be you? What about King Yan? Zhao Dan walked out of a stone cave. He looked much younger than before. Why, surprising. Hua Kai looked at Zhao Dan and asked. He brought you here. I didn't expect you to have grown to such an extent. What is the situation in the Central Plains now? Has Qin Zheng ruled the world? Zhao Dan asked Hua Kai. You have so much confidence in Qin Zheng. I think you are not weak in ascension for more than a year. You are already in the 4th level of Gold Core. You don't want to ask how Zhao Guo is now. Hua Kai looked at Zhao Wang and asked. Qin Zheng is the human with the strongest talent and will. He is the only one who has the opportunity to be promoted to the divine realm. I used to put him in the Zhao kingdom when Qin Zheng was young. The result was the opposite. Qin Zheng is a natural king. How can he live in peace? Next, he regarded me as the person he hated the most. I stayed in Zhao country can only bring disaster to the people. Is Lian Po still alive now? Zhao Dan suddenly asked Lian Po. Lian Po guarded Zhao Guokang Haoguan for 7 years. In the end, Qin Zheng moved the people to Guanzhong in order to resist the wild beasts of the world. After 400,000 Zhao people were killed in the city of Handan, the entire country of Zhao has now become wild beasts. Only Handan City and Wuhan County are left in the world of China, but Qin Zheng is likely to abandon Handan City, and then Zhao will be empty. Lian Po leads 30,000 Zhao Guaojingxi, more than 100,000 Zhao the people went to China. Hua Kai said to Zhao Dan. Haha, that's good. You are the biggest variable in Qin's path to dominate the world. Now I can't see your cultivation base. China may have the possibility of dominating the world. Where do you want me to go after you rescue me? Zhao Dan asked. He once took the Mohist family to the kingdom of Zhao, and has offended all the monarchs of the world. Coupled with the relationship with Qin Zheng and King Yan, it is difficult for him to stay in the Central Plains. If you want, you can stay in Weisung. Lian Po is currently undergoing the journey to the West World trial. After this trial, he will probably break through and enter the Gold Core realm. When the world is not in trouble, you will be in Weisung cultivation. The environment there is no worse than here. Hua Kai said. Zhao Dan was silent for a while and nodded gently. He originally shared the secret of Shandao with King Yan, hoping to be protected by King Yan, and the two of them could still fight Qin Zheng. Who would think that King Yan trapped himself here and wanted to swallow the secrets of Shandao? In the end, he knew that even with such a large treasure house as Shandao, the country of Yan did not have the ability to convert these resources into strength, so this country has China. Appear. Zhao Dan's strength is much weaker than that of King Yan. It is better not to mention the matter of revenge against King Yan. At this time, Zhao Dan's thoughts are used on his own strength ascension. There used to be a vermilion vine in this cave. I have eaten up the fruit. I have found a lot of strange rocks here for more than a year. Apart from this carambola tree, there is nothing else of value here. What can you do? Destroy this formation and let us leave. Zhao Dan couldn't help reminding him when he saw Hua Kai starting to search for things here. It's easy to solve this formation. There are many phantom formations and killing formations. It will be very embarrassing to enter accidentally. This carambola is a phantom formation and will inevitably be caught in the illusion. Speaking, I came to the carambola tree, took out the Jia gun and quickly dug up the carambola tree, and sent the 5th rank spiritual tree carambola tree into the portable space in front of Zhao Dan. Then enter the family secret realm space and give it to the guards, so that Shui Chen can give it to Shu Hua as soon as possible. Coming out of the family secret realm space, Zhao Dan was still waiting. He saw many secrets of Huakai today. For example, he even ignored the illusion and was able to see the key to the formation at a glance. And he suddenly disappeared. Is this already sending away carambola tree? In this way, China's national heritage should not be worse than that of Qin, who inherited the Zhou dynasty. No wonder Hua Kai dared to gather the remnants of Zhao and come here with King Yan. Sending the carambola tree away, Hua Kai took out the Baoguang glass bottle, and he drew the mouth of the bottle at Lingu. The liquid level of the more than 10 acres of Lingu continued to drop, and Huakai saw all kinds of strange stones. From the bottom of the lake, there is not a single fish in the lake. Since I got the Baoguang glazed glass bottle, the spiritual liquids originally stored here have been used almost. Wahia has not produced spiritual wine for many years. With these spiritual liquids, it will be enough for China to use for several years. Watching Huakai use a treasure bottle to take away the entire lake spirit, Zhao Dan looked envied. As the lake became less and less, the formation effect around him became weaker and weaker. Wait until Huakai collects all the spirit fluid. After receiving the light, the formation in this valley instantly lost its effect. King Yan saw the formation disappear, and at first sight Hua Kai and Zhao Dan were picking up rocks in the lake. Hua Kai kept picking up rocks in one direction, and soon a smile appeared on the corner of his mouth. Xuanming stone, the 5th rank special forging material, this piece has to weigh 1,000 catties. Hua Kai looked at the black cyan stone in his hand and said with a smile. Zhao Dan also saw King Yan coming from outside the battlefield and he ignored him, no matter how King Yan had pitted himself, but today he can bring Hua Kai to save himself, and the resentment in his heart has been reduced by more than half. 93%. Chapter 532. Map of Fairy Island. Hua Kai ignored what would happen if the two met again. Zhao Dan has now lost everything. If he wants to make a comeback with this fairy island, he can't have bad friendship with Hua Kai and King Yan, and he is now the weakest of the three. King Yan also reached an agreement with Huakai to rescue Zhao Dan. Now Zhao Dan has nothing to do with him. The three returned together and came to the outer area of the beach. They saw countless figures lying on the corpse of the sky blue whale. They separated pieces of the sky blue whale meat and placed them together. Someone was setting up a tent in the distance, and some were lighting up a fire. Pressure cooker cooking meat sky blue whale meat. In just a half of the day, everyone in China has cut out the sky blue whale meat. Everyone has a clear job assignment. The foundation building is responsible for cutting, and the Shantian is responsible for helping and assisting. All the Qi training realms are neatly organized to form a piece of snow white that exceeds 1,000 catties. The meat pieces are transported to the designated location. Wang Zhao has been rescued, so I won't stay anymore. I will leave one person here. We will gather here in 4 months. King Yan will leave as soon as he returns. Last time he found a lot of treasures. This time, the preparation is sufficient. It is necessary to get it as soon as possible. Otherwise, with Huakai's ability to ignore the restrictions and see the key to the formation at a glance, they will not even be able to drink the soup later. Brother, the dozen or so families who have to act alone have left, and all of our personnel are working hard to decompose the corpse of the sky blue whale. It is expected that the entire corpse of the sky blue whale will be decomposed within 7 days. Hua Mo reported to Hua Kai. Let everyone not act alone. Can this fairy island topography be included in the mountain and river map? Hua Kai asked Hua Mo. No, the distance from China is too big. I am not enough mental energy to open up such a large sector. What should we do next with so many people? Hua Mo asked. This week we can explore the terrain of the entire fairy island and draw a map to divide everyone into areas, so that we can more efficiently open up wasteland. You follow behind me, and if you find danger, try to protect yourself and I will save you. Let's draw the entire fairy island terrain and dangerous areas as soon as possible. Hua Kai said. The two of them first walked along the coastline, and Hua Kai also saw another fairy island that King Yan said. The area from a distance is not small, but looking at the silence around it, this island is definitely not easy. Hua Kai decided to explore the fairy island under his feet first. This fairy island is in the shape of a character from east to west. It is about 800 miles long from east to west and 140 miles at its widest point from north to south. The entire fairy island is about 30,000 square kilometers. After drawing the outer map of Fairy Island, Wakai and Wamo drew the main rivers and mountains on Fairy Island. Wakai told Wamo about all the restrictions formations they saw, and asked Wamo to record them all. The two of them were and they often cooperated in the transformation of the Dongling Mountains, and it took only 5 days to draw the entire Fairy Island topography. Huakai took this map into the family secret realm space, and the next day Shui Chen took out thousands of copies of the map and gave it to Huakai. My lord, I store all the sky blue whale meat you handed me in the underground warehouse, together with the dragon meat. Shui Chen said to Wakai. Blue whale meat is no better than dragon meat this day. The storage time should not be too long. Let the Ministry of Commerce come up with a plan to let the entire country of China digest the sky blue whale meat as soon as possible. Academies such as Shihia College, 100 Colleges, Military College, Takaliu College, etc., your government council discusses a way to distribute a batch of sky blue whale meat to these students first. While looking at the map in his hand, Wakai said to Shui Chen, because Shandao is very large, only a rough outline of Shandao can be seen on this map, and the dangerous areas marked with red lines. This is enough for ordinary people. On April 21st, Wakai handed all the divided sky blue whale meat to Shui Chen through the family secret realm space. His portable space is now only 34 cubic meters, and can only transmit more than 60,000 caddies of sky blue whales at a time. Meat, Huakai has to enter the family secret realm space thousands of times a day, and it took 2 days to send all the decomposed sky blue whales back to China. Early in the morning, Wakai woke up from the 6th floor of the building. This fairy island is abnormally quiet, and the spiritual chi is a rare treasure. He feels that his mental energy is abnormally full, and his willpower is fully restored. He feels relaxed all over his body. After walking out of the room, Huakai sees that someone outside has cooked food. Everyone lined up for breakfast. When the breakfast was over, Huakai gathered everyone together. This is the topographic map of the entire fairy island drawn by me and Wamo in the past few days. I have marked all the dangerous areas. Entering the fairy island as long as you don't take the initiative to provoke the island. There will be no danger in the spirit beast. Wakai said that someone had already sent the map to everyone, but all the soldiers in the foundation building and the undead army did not send it. This is still our base camp. The life items you need can be restocked here. Everyone try to team up to explore the fairy island. You can get half the ownership of the items you get. Today, we will start to purchase all the elixir and strange stones. If you find the elixir and strange stones, you can send them here. There will be dedicated personnel to record all your gains. Again, don't go to all the red line areas. If you find yourself in the phantom or killing array, try your best to support and wait. Walking around will only die faster. Wakai said. This time, the credit for dividing the sky blue whale will be credited to everyone according to the points. This point can be exchanged for all the weapons and medicine pill in the medicine pill room of China, and it is much cheaper. They can also exchange points for dragon meat and sky blue whale meat. Huakai did not expect that the points system this time would allow China's national materials to circulate quickly, allowing China's high-level combat power to quickly obtain ascension. Watching more than 4,000 members of the family leave, Wamo stood behind Wakai and watched quietly. These people can go out and search the entire safe area of Fairy Island. How many elixir and strange stones are this? Brother, what are we going to do now? When will we investigate the restrictions area? Most places with restrictions have spiritual treasures. Wamo could not help but look at Wakai when he saw the family members leave. No hurry, you let all the guards stay here, responsible for the purchase and statistics of all items. Please bring all the foundation building and Jiaodan to the plywood. Wakai said. Soon Shandao and all foundation building realms came to the plywood of the building. They came to look for treasures. The ordinary Shantian realms and Qi training realms were all gone, but they had not left yet. Wamo and I have explored the entire island and found that there are more than 120 restrictions on it, many of which have spirit beasts or demonic beasts. I divided these dangerous areas with restrictions according to the degree of danger. The minimum strength of the company has been written on this paper. You can choose which areas to explore. Each choice requires a certain amount of points. The income is still 50 to 50. Huakai said that Wamo would give everyone a price. The table, the amount of money that needs to be paid to Huakai to explore this restrictions area is written above, that is, the points. King of China, you just provided a map and made us pay millions of points. Isn't this a bit too exaggerated? If I don't want this map, do I not have to pay millions of points? A foundation building environment. Seeing all the price lists marked on the restrictions area, I couldn't help asking. This map doesn't require money. You can use the map to find the area you want to explore. If you pay, I will be responsible for eliminating all restrictions in this area. Everything you get in the area is for the purchaser. Huakai said. This fairy island is really too big. Huakai has no way to check all the areas. Even if Huakai can crack some of the restrictions, it will be useless to explore them. It is better to hand over this area with spirit treasures to these foundation buildings. Environment to explore. These foundation building environments in such a large area are definitely endless to explore. They can take those family members who have left to explore together and give them some benefits. However, many people are beginning to think that the cheapest area is only 100 acres in size. It takes 500,000 points, which is 500,000 gold. The highest price in other regions is more than 20 million gold. Who dares to buy this? Just give me the 500,000 gold. The things in this restrictions are definitely much better than the outside. As long as you can find 10 elixir of 5th rank or higher, and 5 strange stones of 3rd rank or higher, the cost will come back. Seeing everyone who didn't speak, the head of the Jia family was the first to speak. I want the one with 1.2 million points. This is a stone forest. I will earn it back when I find a 5th rank strange stone. Huang Guangwen said with a nod. You need to queue up to purchase the restrictions area. That area has already been purchased. The conference hall wall will be hung up. It is not easy for me to solve the restrictions problem. There are also great dangers. Many restrictions may take a long time to be lifted. Help one person remove the restrictions. Huakai said. Hearing what Huakai said, other people chose to wait and see temporarily. If there are really good things in restrictions, they will not be too late to buy them. They still want to see what treasures can be gained in ordinary areas based on the map given by Huakai. And those dangerous restrictions, do they have the ability to break through, so they won't save millions of gold coins? When everyone left, everyone in the Wahia Foundation building looked at Huakai. They and the undead army have nothing to do. The nearest restrictions to our place is also the largest. It is a cliff facing the sea. There are a large number of birds and beasts. It covers an area of more than 100 square kilometers. I just walked through the sky and found many strange rocks on the beach, the cliff. There are a lot of birds, and the strongest may be Tier 6 Thunder Eagle. You and the Undead Legion should have no problem dealing with Thunder Eagle. Huakai said to the members of the Hua family. The biggest difficulty in this area is that there are too many birds and beasts. There are not many people who go to explore the area. If there are too many people, it is difficult for Shantian to survive here, and there are many strange stones here, maybe you can get some birds. Beast egg, so Huakai decided to explore this area first. 94%. Chapter 533 10,000 Bird Island. Huakai asked Tang Lei to gather all the soldiers of the Undead Legion. They and all the foundation building borders came outside of this restrictions. From the outside, this is a beach. There is nothing on the beach. Huakai asked everyone to wait outside, alone. One person walked into the restrictions. He only heard the cry of a bird, and everyone saw Huakai's figure in front of him suddenly disappear, and he came out to find that he had come to a new world. A vulture more than 10 meters above flew towards him. It is really unimaginable that there can be demonic beasts like vultures in this kind of place. Huakai sees that this vulture is also a junior demonic beast. This is what he sees on this island. The only demonic beasts I arrived. Imagine that the flood dragon ran out of this fairy island, and Huakai was very careful about everything. This vulture should be specially guarding this restrictions. Huakai took out the scary night gun to kill the opponent, but saw that the vulture suddenly disappeared, and instantly appeared behind him. A pair of sharp claws had already grabbed Huakai's back. A blue ice shield appeared behind Huakai. Jia Gun turned his head and killed the vulture behind him. The vulture would flee as soon as he could not break Huakai's ice shield, but how could Huakai give it a chance? The strong ice will made this vulture unable to move. Huakai's spear thrust through the opponent's forehead, and the vulture died before it could react. Killing this vulture, Huakai saw countless birds flying on the cliff in the distance. This spirit beast may give birth to demonic beasts, and demonic beasts may give birth to spirit beasts. The creatures in this restriction space do not know how long they have survived here. How many generations of descendants were the first to break into this place, here has already formed its own biosphere. In the distance, countless birds flew from the west of the island to the sea, and some thunder eagles circled over the cliff. As long as they fell, all the birds flee in fright. Some birds were very curious when they saw Huakai, and they were not afraid. They watched him carefully, and suddenly a thunder eagle saw Huakai from a high altitude, and he flew to attack Huakai. These Tier 6 thunder eagles can do no harm to Huakai. Huakai's goal is to destroy the formations in this area of Fairy Island to see the world again. Lei Ying flew over Huakai and released a flash of lightning after a tweet. Huakai's ice shield could not resist this attack of willpower. Huakai shivered after the lightning hit him. This lightning crisis is close to the foundation building, but it is useless to Huakai. It looks like you should not belong to the spirit beast category, and leaving you behind is indeed harmful to the entire Fairy Island. Huakai said as he looked at the Thunder Eagle who took the initiative to attack when he saw himself. Opening the eye of reality, the energy movement in the entire formation was clearly presented in front of his eyes. This large formation actually had 7 formations, and there were thousands of formations. Huakai found that these 7 formations formed a loop. In the end, such a big formation is formed, and it is very simple to destroy this formation. Find the nearest foot to him. This is a black stone. The stone is high above the ground, and it is full of bird droppings. That Lei Ying might see that he was not Huakai's opponent and had already left. Huakai didn't care about him either. He waved his hand and covered the stone with frost. Soon the ice and snow fell off and the stone appeared blacker and brighter. At this time, Huakai saw a familiar figure appearing behind him, and turned around, and it turned out that Wukong was gnawing on a purple stone the size of his head. I told you that you can't fetch anything on this fairy island by yourself. Should I lock you in the family secret realm space now and not let you go to the island? Huakai said to Wukong. Wukong opened his hand and explained to Huakai that the purple gold stone is a 3rd-rank strange stone, and it can be refined to obtain purple gold coins. Huakai was relieved when he heard Wukong's explanation. Wukong unexpectedly found several super large purple gold ores. I just came in for a short while, and I have already picked up 4 strange stones. After searching this place, I will quickly get the purple gold stone found by Wukong. This time I have gained a lot. For the current central plains, advanced weapons can directly increase the strength of a person, and the value is high, and the preservation is also simple. The value of collecting strange stones in China is much higher than that of elixir. It is the key to seize the time to collect strange stones. Huakai thought silently, if you enter here if you don't have one purpose, time is wasted. Wukong, you brought this black ink stone out. I won't punish you for taking the purple stone by yourself. If you don't follow the rules, I will take you back into the family secret realm space if there is something good in the future. The right to let you stay and watch on quietly. Huakai said to Wukong. Wukong saw Huakai's serious attitude and nodded to indicate that he would obey in the future. Wukong was holding this 1st-rank spirit stone's black ink stone. The stone was several times bigger than it. It looked a little funny. Wukong hugged it and tried it. The land under Huakai's feet collapsed and the black ink stone was pulled out. How tall are the feet? Huakai looked at the scenery around him blurred. Wukong continued to pull up the black ink stone little by little, and the golden beach a few meters away turned into a grassland. Tang Lei and the Hua family were waiting not far away. Wukong completely pulled out the black ink stone more than 2 meters deep underground. Huakai was not far away like glass shattered. The entire area was more than 10 meters away as if it was connecting 2 worlds, just like the gap when they entered the fairy island. The same, except that the big formation protecting Fairy Island is much more complicated than this, and Huakai still doesn't want to try to crack it. Seeing the sudden change of vision, Tang Lei and several foundation building realms entered the beach through the gap. They were cautious when they saw this strange sight. If this Fairy Island was not Huakai, they would never know that there would be this place. A space. Let everyone come in. Leave a few people to guard this exit, and don't let demonic beasts fly out of this space. Huakai said. As everyone saw the sound of eagles in the sky, hundreds of thunder eagles flew from a distance. Huakai hurriedly led all the organization defensive formations. The foundation building realm flew to the sky to kill these thunder eagles. Battles unfolded in the air. Although the foundation building realm has an overwhelming advantage against Tier 6 demonic beasts, these thunderhawks are fast in the air. The thunder and lightning they release can not only paralyze the foundation building realm, but several thunderhawks attack together. It can also cause serious damage to the foundation building environment. There are more and more thunder eagles in the sky, and many seabirds disappeared without a trace. Huakai still underestimated this place. The spiritual chi is abundant and connected to the entire sea. All seabirds will definitely nest here. The number of thunder eagles watching the sky has exceeded 1,000, and Huakai estimates that there are at least 1 million seabirds here. More than 20 foundation building realms looked at more and more thunder eagles in the sky. They had no choice but to retreat first, and the Undead Legion formed a defensive formation, so that they could share the damage so that they would not be afraid of Thunder Eagle's lightning attack. In just a few minutes, there were more than 3,000 Thunder Eagles in the sky, and the number was still increasing. The endless sound of the eagles in the sky put endless pressure on everyone, and Huakai also showed a serious expression on his face. All the reserve members of the Undead Legion all dispersed to avoid the attack, and the surroundings of the Foundation building were harassed and attacked and killed Thunder Eagle. The Undead Legion was divided into 10 teams to prepare for the battle, and each team Zhang Lingdan prepared. Huakai ordered. Everyone in China quickly dispersed in accordance with Huakai Euro's instructions, because the Undead Legion now has more than 20 undead leaders. Each team is divided into 10 teams and each team has 2 undead leaders. Hit them and kill them. Undead Legion, because it can share the damage and resilience, one person can take Zhang Lingdan to recover all the injuries of the whole team. Every time Undead Legion prepares the most is Zhang Lingdan. The Thunder Eagle in the sky saw the creatures that suddenly appeared on the ground. As the world's strongest existence except for the vulture, they are the overlords of this world. Of course, the first thing that comes to mind when seeing everyone in Huakai is to destroy each other. An eagle sounded, countless lightning fell from the sky, and the Earth Undead Legion screamed. Many people lay directly on the ground and couldn't afford to be seriously injured. Some foundation building realms were also attacked by dozens of thunder eagles, and their bodies were paralyzed. The sky fell and the injury was serious. Huakai was attacked by the thunder and lightning from nearly 1,000 thunder eagles. The thunder and lightning around him continued to rotate around Huakai gold core. The thunder and lightning destroyed his body, and his true chi kept recovering his own injury, and his body could be transformed into the gods. It's not that easy to get hurt. Feeling that own gold core has experienced a thunder and lightning attack, there has been a special change, because Huakai has been studying own gold core and is very familiar with the changes in gold core, so he hopes that the sudden change will last longer. Huakai took out a Zhang Lingdan to take it, and flew into the air. The Thunder Eagle saw his appearance and placed all the lightning on his head. Huakai felt that special feeling seemed clearer. When a trace of special energy in gold core was hit by lightning, it overflowed gold core into Huakai Euro's meridians. After that energy was combined with true chi, Huakai Euro's true chi suddenly became stronger by a few points. This change made Huakai unable to help. Meditation. At this time, more and more lightning fell on Huakai Euro's head. Some thunder eagles flew to Huakai and began to tear Huakai Euro's body, but their strength was too weak for Huakai, and the thunder eagles pecked at Huakai. Only a shallow white mark can be left to him. Huakai felt a thunder eagle pecking his eyes. He slapped the thunder eagle with one hand, and a hockey puck encircled him. Those thunder eagles tried hard to attack on the ice puck, but they couldn't break the ice puck. That kind of energy is the power of life. It is composed of the power of will, mental energy, and true chi. It has the effect of turning the emptiness into reality and good fortune. This is the direction of future cultivation, a kind of higher than 3. A new power of energy. But why can thunder and lightning allow this synthetic power to overflow? Why this energy can rapidly enhance the display of true chi? Can it enhance the power of will, or mental energy? Huakai couldn't help thinking. 94%. Chapter 534. Huakai was feeling the change of his gold core. He tried to use the synthetic force of mental energy to contact the force of will, but there was no change, indicating that this force only has an effect on true chi. Feeling that there is not much thunder and lightning power above his head, gold core gradually returned to normal. Huakai mental energy detected that these thunder eagles had discharged countless electricity on him, and he did not respond. As a result, he gave up attacking him and specifically attacked others on the ground. People go. Hearing the sound of killing on the ground, the lower part was really much more tragic than Huakai imagined. In the face of so many thunder eagles, on average, an undead soldier has to deal with more than 4 same-rank opponents, and it is also an air unit. Undead Legion, all of them leaned together to defend themselves. The bottom person was taking Zhang Lingdan to help everyone recover from their injuries. Two people waved their spears from time to time, and Thunder Eagle was constantly killed. The surrounding foundation building and undead reserve members are also very difficult. The lightning paralysis effect of these Thunder Eagles made them miserable. Hua Kai saw a foundation building with hundreds of Thunder Eagles attacking from the north of the foundation building. He was seriously injured and sought other foundations. The building environment helped, and as a result, more Thunder Eagles were attracted, and finally escaped to the Undead Legion. Hua Kai knew that he couldn't wait anymore. He took out the scary night gun and pushed it towards the place where there were most Thunder Eagles, and the scary night gun began to fly away, with huge shadows surrounding the scary night gun. The 4 weeks began to grow bigger and bigger. Hua Kai relied on divine armament to use his own willpower to attack. Night gun instantly became hundreds of meters long. After piercing into the Thunder Eagle group, countless Thunder Eagles turned into ice sculptures and landed from the sky. Some Thunder Eagles were directly shaken into powder by this gun. This is the 7th layer ice of cold power powerful. Hua Kai is thinking that if he can use the energy in gold core to his true chi, his strength will more than double ascension. This strike killed at least 200 Thunders, and there were more than 300 Thunder Eagles that were affected by freezing and fell to the ground. The Undead Legion saw it rushing forward and slashed. This fell to the ground. The Thunder Eagle can kill much better than the aerial Thunder Eagle. Hua Kai saw countless Thunder Eagles releasing thunder and lightning to himself, but this time the number of thunder and lightning was not as large as before, and the power was much smaller. In order to avoid too many casualties on the Chinese side, Hua Kai continued to kill Thunder Eagles in the air. Even if these Thunder Eagles were unable to release lightning, they used their own eagle claws and eagle beaks to attack Hua Kai. Hua Kai's goal is to attract more Thunder Eagles to attack him, then relieve the pressure on others, and then fight hard. Every shot goes out with a large number of Thunder Eagle deaths. At this time, the Wahia Foundation building realm also began to use the Phantom of Will against the Thunder. The eagle began to attack. Although the use of the Phantom of the Will consumes a lot, it is very lethal to these 6th order Thunder Eagles. Hua Kai tried to kill for half an hour, feeling that the surrounding pressure was much lighter. All Undead Legion soldiers had dispersed and jumped into the air to attack Thunder Eagle. There were a lot of Thunder Eagle corpses on the ground, and Thunder Eagle in the sky had already gradually less than 1,000. These Thunder Eagles have completely failed to release lightning, and the threat to the people of China has been reduced by more than half, but they are still desperate to fight with the people of China, and there is no meaning to escape. After half an hour, there were only less than 100 Thunder Eagles left in the sky. They finally realized that they would be wiped out if they did not retreat, and they began to turn their heads and flee away, chasing and killing each other in the foundation building of China. They also saw that the only threat here was these Thunder Eagles, and they could search here at will if they wiped out the Thunder Eagles. Soon all the foundation building realms came back. They told Hua Kai that in addition to the aggressiveness of Thunder Eagles, hundreds of other birds in this area are below tier 5 and have little aggressiveness. As for the birds here, are they barbaric beasts or beasts? Spirit beast. Everyone didn't check it seriously. The battle just now seemed understandable, but Thunder Eagle had limited damage to the undead soldiers wearing undead suits. There were only 6 undead reserve soldiers death, severely wounded more than 10 people, and the foundation building environment was very expensive. Mental energy was very expensive, and the casualties were not many. Hua Kai asked Tang Lei to take the Undead Legion to explore here. The remaining birds and beasts were no longer a threat to the Undead Legion. He brought other foundation building realms back to the building. The market here in Luchuan is as lively as an ordinary market. More than 600 guards in China maintain market order. Some people have found elixir or strange stones to exchange points here. After the guards finally sorted all the goods, Hua Kai and Wushu Huazichan send these things back to the family secret realm space. As long as their luck is sufficient, they can refine them into medicine pills or weapons that everyone needs. In the afternoon, Hua Kai rested on the boat. His main task now is to pay attention to the formation of the place where someone touched, and release any intermediate-level demonic beasts or common dragon-like big monsters. These demonic beasts above the 8th level can only be released. Cause greater damage to these pioneers. When Tang Lei came back in the evening, he brought more than 4,000 pieces of various strange stones, one of which was the 6th rank strange stone was the biggest gain this time, and the more than 800 elixir made Hua Kai very surprised. This coast is full of bird droppings. Many of the elixir that grows on cliffs and on the ground are above the 6th rank. They are used as formations. After we dug out these elixir, many of the formations have collapsed. Now some birds the beast has escaped from the formation, and the big formation is almost unable to maintain it now. Tang Lei said to Hua Kai. Thunder Eagle has been wiped out by us. Those seabirds are not a big threat to everyone. This formation has 4 formations. You must have touched the formations today. I will draw the 4 formations. You will set the formations tomorrow. The spiritual object at the eye position was taken. Hua Kai said. My lord, we only explored an area that is less than half of this space today. It takes about a month to explore this space. There are so many strange stones and elixir here. If the formation disappears, other people will enter it. Tang Lei asked. You can explore from the island to the coast. If other people come, you can ask them to leave, or hire them to help explore. We can stay here for a month. We have to change places at most a week. There are more than 100 restrictions areas to explore, and it is not worth spending time here. Hua Kai said. Today, no spirit treasures of will spirit treasures have been found, and Hua Kai is a bit dissatisfied. There are no spirit treasures of will spirit treasures in such a large area. It is estimated that these birds and beasts would have eaten them early, but these strange stones and spirit medicines have been harvested well, and it is enough for China. China has consumed it for half a year. My lord, there is one more thing. We found a lot of bird eggs on the cliff. Should we collect some bird eggs? Tang Lei asked suddenly. Let my uncle follow me tomorrow. Let him send all the bird eggs into the family secret realm space and give it to Shui Chen, and let the palace save all the bird eggs. I have a way to incubate the bird eggs. If I can incubate spirituality high, we can raise it to be used as a spirit beast. Hua Kai said. On the second day, Hua Zichen and Tang Lei went to the Thunderbird formation space. Hua Zichen led more than 300 guards and 500 undead reserve teams to collect bird eggs. Tang Lei started searching from the island and outside, and at noon we have already negotiated a cooperative relationship with hundreds of Chinese family members. The Chinese family helped to collect wasteland. In the end, the Chinese family gave a certain reward. Although the reward may not be as high as the number of strange stones obtained every day, the victory is safe. There are not many strange stones everywhere on the island for you to pick up. King Yan and Zhao Dan have already wiped out many safe areas once. It is difficult to get a big gain without entering the dangerous formation. Now more than 6,000 members of the family have handed it in. Most of them are the strange stones below the 3rd rank and the elixir below the 5th rank. The head of the Jia family came to Hua Kai early in the morning. The Jia family is now the 4th rank family and has no less influence than many 3rd rank families in China. What they lack is a foundation building. For this reason, they have looked for yin and yang teachers. To train several young people from the foundation building family with hope, now someone in the Jia family has reached the Shantian realm. They are doing everything for the opportunity of the foundation building. For all families below the 3rd rank, they have won the name foundation building as the biggest wish of the whole family. Patriarch Jia, how are you preparing? Hua Kai looked at Patriarch Jia and asked. We dispatched 6 Shantian realms in the family this time, and also invited 5 Shantian realms and 32 Qi training realms to help us. Yesterday we discussed together. The area of this formation is not large. These people should be enough. Jia the owner said. All restrictions areas must have treasures. As for what they are, it depends on your luck. Some restrictions contain demonic beasts or spirit beasts. I will try my best to help you deal with these. If the demonic beasts are too powerful, I can solve them. It can be considered that your luck is too bad. There will be instructions in the living room on the 1st floor of these buildings, you have to know. Hua Kai said. My lord, you only need to help us dissolve the big formation, everything else depends on the destiny. We will gather 500,000 gold when we return home anyway. Jia Patriarch said firmly. That's fine, let's set off. Hua Kai finished riding on Luma. This time they were going to a farther place. When they got out of the boat, Hua Kai saw Zhao Dan riding under the boat. Wang Zhao is going out to explore treasures, Hua Kai said when he saw Zhao Dan. I have been here for more than a year, and I have seen it through. My qualifications are up to the gold core middle stage, and it is difficult to make an inch. The chance of rejuvenation is slim. Can I follow along and see the style of the King of China? Zhao Dan said. Hua Kai was a little surprised. It seemed that Zhao Dan had seen a lot of things after being trapped in the formation for more than a year, and he was actually willing to follow Hua Kai out. Okay, if you want to go. Let's go out together with a BMW. Today is to help Jia family break the formation, and everything in the formation belongs to Jia family, you have to know. Hua Kai said to Zhao Dan. 94%. Chapter 535. Hua Kai and Zhao Dan were riding on horses, and Patriarch Jia and the others could only follow them without horses. This time, because of the limited space on the ship, only some of the foundation building and guards of the Chinese family brought 100 horses. The Jia family chose a place on the other side of the island. They flew all the way for 2 hours before reaching their destination. It seemed that this was a small basin with an area of only 100 acres and surrounded by dense woods. As soon as they arrived, everyone in the Jia family saw a few elixir outside the formation, which was a good sign. Hua Kai asked everyone to wait outside the formation. He entered the formation and found a powerful spiritual chi filling the space. A blue plant next to a big rock looked very special. Hua Kai saw that it was a first-rank spirit treasure of will, and there were so many elixir in this valley. Hua Kai saw several plants of rank 7 or higher. He used the eye of reality to check and found that this formation is based on the spirit treasure of the will, and 4 or more spiritual herbs of rank 7 or higher. The formation of this spirit formation will not take too long, and there is no beast. He pulled out a seemingly ordinary elixir from a distance. The entire formation shattered like a bubble, and the entire formation was suddenly revealed to everyone outside the formation. Patriarch Jia saw a sudden change in the environment before him. He looked at Hua Kai and got the affirmation before he walked into the battle. You are lucky. There are no beasts in this formation, there are many elixir, and there is also a spirit treasure of will. Hua Kai said. When Patriarch Jia heard this hurriedly walking into the formation, he saw the Lingbao plant at a glance, and everyone in the Jia family jumped up happily when he saw this place. It is rumored that someone has bought a spirit treasure for millions of gold, but who has the spirit treasure will sell it. That represents a strong foundation building. Families below the third rank seldom heard the news of contact with spirit treasures of the will, and this time the Jia family explored this restrictions area and made a lot of money. The formation has been broken, and I should leave too. Here you explore carefully, and you will definitely gain a lot. Hua Kai left with Zhao Dan after talking to Jia Patriarch. Walking on the road, Zhao Dan seemed hesitant to speak. Hua Kai looked at him. Wang Zhao has something to ask me. China Wang Gaoyi. After breaking the restrictions, leave it to others to explore. I don't know why. You can crack restrictions. Sooner or later, these places will not belong to China. Give them half the benefits to them in vain. Wang Zhao asked inexplicably. They are the 4th rank family in China, so how can they be regarded as outsiders? Besides, half of their income must be handed over to the Hua family. Hua Kai said with a smile. The strength of the family grows, and the influence of the Chinese family will inevitably weaken. You are burying the roots of China. Maybe China has just been established. You don't know much about the power struggle between the family. You will want it when they are strong. More things, then the whole country will be divided up by these aristocratic families a little bit. Ida Euro-S okay for the royal family to have strength. If there is no strength, it will inevitably lead to chaos. Zhao Dan is more than 600 years old, and when he led Zhao Euro-S development to the strongest time, Qinzheng none of them are born yet. When Hua Kai heard Zhao Dan's question, he could not Euro T help but smile. I am not afraid that you have ideas or how strong you are. As long as you are willing to come into contact with China Euro-S thoughts, Hua Kai has the confidence to pull Zhao Dan to China. Human race one more gold core will have more strength, and the reputation of China will be very large. In the Central Plains countries, the royal family rights are restricted by the family. The family and the royal family manage the world together. This is advocated by many people, but China is different. Hua Kai said with a smile. Oh, I haven't returned to the Central Plains for 7 years. I still ask the king of China for advice. Zhao Dan looked disbelieved. Whoever has no ambitions in the family, the royal family can only choose the family to govern the country. The contradiction between the two cannot be resolved at all. Find balance. Let me show you a few books. This is the general statutes of China. This is the profession of the 3 major courts. This is the bill passed by the House of Representatives in recent years. Hua Kai refused to explain to Zhao Dan. He gave him a bunch of books. These are all books on the legal system of China. These books have been available in various bookstores in China in recent years. Many people want to take official exams, but they are indispensable. Yes, interesting. According to your general chapter, there is not much left to directly confiscate the rights of the emperor. All countries have to negotiate and distribute the income of the 3 major departments. The Hua family can only be divided into less than half of the country's income. What does the family do as the royal family of China? In addition, the rights of the aristocratic family have also been weakened to a minimum. The common people can determine the direction of the country's development. This is because you can enforce it, and you can protect China from going forward in any way. Now there is no opposition from the Chinese family, and the aristocratic family also no objection. What if one day you can no longer protect China? Zhao Dan looked at Hua Kai with a hint of admiration. This general constitution puts the duties of the king and the royal family first. Aristocratic families and scholars must also abide by the Chinese system. However, the people with the most rights still refer to the common people. This means that the rights of the royal family and aristocratic families are distributed to the common people too much. Zhao Dan doesn't seem to be a good thing. Wang Zhao, what do you think is the most basic of a country? Hua Kai suddenly asked Zhao Dan. Is it safe? Only national security. Everyone can live normally. Most of the country's efforts are for their own safety. Only a safe country can have more and more people and become stronger. Zhao Dan thought for a while and said, I think it is people's livelihood. What is people's livelihood? Clothing, food, housing and transportation. Only when everyone in the country has solved the basic problems of clothing, food, housing and transportation can a country have the energy and ability to prosper. The people of Qin migrated to protect them from being killed by wild beasts. However, the people died of tens of thousands of labor and military service every year, and the number of people who died of starvation was countless. The power of Qin was only superficial, and everyone knew Qin. The country is in decline. The family of Qi is powerful, and the people are much wealthier than other countries, but no one says that Qi is a powerful country, and now it has become the 5 counties of China. All this shows that the control of state power is in the hands of a small number of people. The contradiction cannot be resolved. Only when the majority have the right to speak and decide can a political power be stable. The world is truly peaceful, and there are many ways to empower everyone. China has just found a way to survive for its own. Hua Kai looked at Zhao Dan and said, the people are weak and ignorant. How can their role be compared with the royal family, aristocratic families, and scholars? The scholars will eventually seize the opportunity to give the people rights to control the hearts of the world and overthrow the rule of the king. If there is no king to rule the world, who will kill the demonic beasts? What's the future? Zhao Dan said so with a tone of asking for advice. The people are weak. Why don't the kings make the people strong? There are hundreds of Chinese Guoshui Gong schools, thousands of children schools, and no one in the country is illiterate. All scholars and hundreds of families debate for the truth, and the common people know right and wrong. They may not be able to fight demonic beasts on the battlefield, but the grazing, farming, workshops, and markets of China are inseparable from them. They make China prosperous and become a place that everyone yearns for. Hua Kai is right, Zhao Dan said. Perhaps you are right. The king has selfless feelings to lead the entire human race to glory. Compared with you, Qin Zheng may be stronger than you, but he is far behind you in terms of the future of the human race. No one knows what the future will be. But if you follow your path, I feel that you will become the greatest emperor of the human race. Zhao Dan said heartily. Hua Kai smiled and ignored him. He knew that if he recruited Zhao Dan now and the other party would join China, China would be one step closer to the dynasty, but he was not in a hurry. He had so many elixir and strange stones. It only takes 5 years for China to become a fearful existence even for Qin. A gold core is not very meaningful to China. Zhao Dan returned to the station with a heavy heart and Hua Kai. Only scattered members of the Chinese family came back. Hua Kai had a meal of sky blue whale meat at noon. Although spiritual Qi did not have enough dragon meat, there was nothing strange about the blue whale meat. The effect, but the taste is very good. Send the elixir and strange stones accumulated in the resident to the family secret realm space. Many core members of the Hua family are busy sorting out. Hua Kai sees that some family members have begun to exchange points for treasure weapon and treasure pill. They have these talents. Going farther and more dangerous places, Hua Kai allows the core members of the family to complete transactions with them first. After this treasure hunting activity is over, the strength of each family will inevitably be ascension. After the family secret realm space, Hua Kai was planning to take the China National Foundation building to explore other restrictions areas. Suddenly someone returned to the station to report that someone had fallen into the restrictions area and lost contact. Hua Kai hurriedly went to save people. This restrictions area is the Foundation Building Realm Zochin area marked by Hua Kai, meaning that it is safer only if the Foundation Building Zochin leads a team to enter. There are 3 Shantian realms from several families in China with more than a dozen Qi practicing realms nearby. Treasure hunting. I saw bursts of light emitted here, and ended up venturing close to many people to fall into it. When Hua Kai entered this restrictions area, he saw that many Qi practicing realms on the ground had died, and only 2 Shantian realms were attacking each other. They have clearly fallen into the illusion. Hua Kai used Eye of Reality to explore this formation and found that this place was actually an illusion space of a Tier 8 poison frog. The poison frog had been hidden in a swamp. It did not rush to kill 2 people, otherwise Hua Kai would be sure. Too late. It is not so easy to kill poison frogs quickly. Hua Kai imprisoned the 2 Shantian realms with power of will and took them out of the formation. The poisonous frog seemed to want to attack Hua Kai, but in the end it didn't make a move. It was already night when I returned to the station. Today, more than 200 people did not come back, and I don't know if they were trapped or dead. In the afternoon, the news that more than a dozen people in the Qi Lian realm and Shantian realm had fallen into the illusion and died soon came from the aristocracy. This let everyone know the importance of the map in your hand. Dona Euro-T, be sure not to get close to the restrictions area. 94%. Chapter 536. More than a dozen people died in the restrictions area. What everyone cares about is that the Jia family received a treasure of will today, which is extremely precious to any family. The Jia family returned to the treasure ship that night and let the Shantian realm Zochin take it directly. As for this will spirit treasure belongs to the half of the Hua family's ownership. The elixir and strange stones he obtained in the restriction space can be fully supplemented. On the second day, the Shantian realm of the Jia family finally succeeded in the foundation building. When everyone saw that the 4th rank family finally had the foundation building realm, they all sent their blessings. Moreover, the Jia family handed over 2 million points to the Hua family in one day. Many people have confirmed that Jia Euro's family can search this area of restrictions and get at least 3 million points. This has been found by many families. Hua Kai here. Today is to help the Huang family solve their formation of choosing the restrictions area. You may want to choose a restrictions area when you see the Jia family get the spirit treasure, but you can do what you can. The dangers of each restrictions area are different, and you are not strong enough to enter. You will only lose your life and lose your money. Hua Kai said to more than 30 people in front of them, all of whom are representatives of families above the 4th rank in China. Sir, danger, we know that there is no danger in Treasure Fairy Island. We have anticipated the worst result when we can come here. We will not regret the restrictions area we chose. A family representative said. It's okay if you don't regret it. The country of China has trained you for many years, but in the end all of you died here. So why are we doing our best to come here this time? The restrictions area is here and only 2 areas are being explored. If you want to apply for the restrictions area exploration quota, you still have to come up with a plan. Plan to explore the number of people who are the strongest. Also, the points you handed in cannot be fully credited. I calculate by myself what kind of family assets can be mortgaged. It is impossible for me to take a bunch of corpses back after watching you casually die. Hua Kai said. All the families heard this and all expressed that they understood that without the support of the Hua family, it would be difficult for them to have their current strengths. Many families also saw the Jia family get the Lingbao and became red eyes. How can the restriction space within the formation be so easy to enter? If they really die here, their family will have to repay the Hua family millions of gold coins, which is tantamount to pushing the family into the abyss. You all first discuss which restrictions areas you plan to explore, and give me the plan in the evening. I will decide who to give these restrictions areas to you based on your strengths and choices. Hua Kai left after speaking. When he arrived outside the building, he saw that his second uncle was waiting outside with more than 300 people. Among the 100 people, there was also a foundation building, the monarch of China's affiliated country, Hua Kai. I don't know how my second uncle persuaded a foundation building on the 6th floor to help them explore the restrictions area. I have seen the king. Seeing Hua Kai coming out, everyone saluted Hua Kai. Now that you are ready, let's go together. Second uncle, the Huang family is quite prepared this time. Hua Kai said while looking at Huang Guangwen. Yesterday the Jia family acquired a spirit treasure of will, and now everyone knows that many people have explored many places in the fairy island in the past 2 days. Although they have harvested, most of them are low-level elixir and strange stones. No one can get it in a day. 2 million gold. Last night, representatives of the aristocratic families approached me and offered to explore the restrictions area with the Huang family. Huang Guangwen said with a smile. It can be seen that the second uncle's gain this time is not small. Maybe he has shared the risks with all the families. This is what Hua Kai hopes to see. The restrictions area selected by the second uncle Huang Guangwen is only about 200 miles away from the stronghold. It only took more than an hour for everyone to reach the destination. Hua Kai entered this restrictions area under everyone's gaze. When he first entered this area, Hua Kai was disappointed because he saw that there were lush woods and there were not many spirit trees here. Among them, the highest and most ranked spirit tree was the third-ranked spirit tree named Fotang Wasong. There are some small animals that have not yet opened their minds. They are not afraid to see Hua Kai. There are countless butterflies and bees flying by in the sky. Generally, the elixir in the restrictions area with animals is scarce, because the elixir that can be taken directly has been eaten by these animals. But seeing the white silkworms on the leaves of the only spirit tree here, Hua Kai knew that the value of this thing was much higher than a spirit treasure of will. He used the true eyes to check the formation and found that there were no eyes here. The formation spiritual chi here was completely omitted from these white silkworms. Hua Kai saw that this place destroyed a spiritual tree at his feet, and the green mulberry leaves on the tree quickly withered. These white silkworms saw it quickly crawling to other Fotang Wasong trees. Hua Kai was surprised by such a spirit silkworm. This silkworm is called Bai Ling silkworm, which is a kind of silkworm recorded in ancient times. It coexists with the Fotang Wasong tree. The silk produced belongs to the third-rank training material, and many high-level armors can be used. Bailing silk is produced, and many treasure armors and even Ling armors in the Wahia family space weapon shop are used in Bailing silk. After the Fotang Wasong tree died, everything in front of them remained unchanged, but Huang Guangwen and others outside the restrictions area saw Hua Kai appear not far away. It turned out that this formation was composed of several phantom formations together. Huang Guangwen saw that Hua Kai was afraid to approach from a distance. In the past few days, they had heard a lot about illusions response methods. They suddenly found that the environment changed and stayed there. They used mental energy to detect the real object before judging. This fairy island is everywhere. All kinds of illusions, mazes, and killing arrays may get caught in it accidentally. Okay, you can enter from here. It's only 3 meters wide. Be careful when you enter. Hua Kai said with a smile when he saw his second uncle. My lord, how is the situation here? Is there any spirit treasure? Huang Guangwen asked. The biggest goal of many aristocratic families entering the restrictions area is to find the spirit treasure, because having a foundation building is the most important for them. I didn't see any Lingbao, but I found something better than Lingbao. Hua Kai said. More than 300 people entered the restrictions area without encountering a battle, which is great, so even if there is no gain in this restrictions area, it is a big deal to lose some money. After unlocking the restrictions area formation for the Huang family, Hua Kai left and returned to the stronghold. The foundation buildings in China are waiting. They must explore other dangerous areas today, because only these areas can gain more. In the afternoon, Hua Kai took Zhao Dan and more than 30 foundation building people to explore the most dangerous area, because Hua Kai felt a strong wave of willpower from outside this restrictions, but when he entered this area, Hua Kai laughed out loud. Because he found a group of palaces. There are about 100 palaces here. Many of the buildings are very well preserved. The hundreds of spirit beasts inside saw Hua Kai's arrival and did not attack. Obviously, the spirituality is very high. Hua Kai is close to the palace group. They will block. Hua Kai checked the attributes of all spirit beasts, and the strongest one is 1 step short of entering the 9th tier. Even if he has the scary night spear, he only has a 70% chance of winning. In addition, there are 19 tier 8 spirit beasts, and the rest are tier 7 spirits. Beast, Hua Kai didn't have the confidence to win the opponent. Don't irritate the other party when you exit here. It's not too late to come here when you finish exploring other restrictions areas. When he was about to leave Hua Kai, he suddenly thought of Wukong. It was a clever ghost. Maybe Wukong could enter those palaces, or maybe it could summon the body of gods and demons to defeat these spirit beasts. When Hua Kai mental energy moved, he felt that Wukong was not in the family secret realm space. He heard Hua Kai Euro's call to enter the family space in the air and then appeared next to Hua Kai. It held own Hunyuan Wujin stick in its hand and was proficient in it. He turned around and looked at the spirit beast in the distance. When Wukong saw these spirit beasts, he didn't even have any desire to attack. He looked at the palace in the distance and seemed very interested. He put himself Hunyuan Wujin stick on his shoulders and swaggered in before going in. Hua Kai saw that he hadn't seen it for a whole day, and Wukong's stomach was bulging a lot more than yesterday. It had entered the 8th floor and only one level behind Wakai. It can be seen how many good things he ate in the past 2 days. The group of spirit beasts seemed very curious when they saw Wukong. They watched it quietly. Wukong came to them and said something to them easily. Those spirit beasts ignored them and watched Wukong enter the palace behind them. There must be good things in this palace. If you can get the ancient inheritance, you will make a lot of money. Wakai has been waiting here for Wukong. After a few minutes, he saw Wukong holding a golden lamp on display. Then the lamp exhibition, it seems to be taller than Wukong. It happily walked towards Wakai with the lantern show, but Wakai stared at the spirit beast in the distance with a worried look. Unexpectedly, those spirit beasts just looked at Wukong but didn't move at all. Generally speaking, spirit beasts are no worse than 6-year-olds when they reach the 7th order, and the 8th order spirit beasts are no worse than 10-year-olds. These spirit beasts may be trapped. Ida too long here, and it seems silly. Wukong came to Wakai holding the lantern show, and Wakai saw 3 ancient words on the lantern show Zhenyao Lan at a glance. Wukong wanted to give this town demon lantern to Wakai as if offering a treasure. As soon as Wakai received it, he saw the group of spirit beasts suddenly rushing towards him, and he hurriedly fled outside the restrictions area. Huakai breathed a sigh of relief when he fled to the restrictions. Just now, he felt a few strands of willpower attached to his body. The strength of the will of light reached the 7th level, and the 6th level willpower exceeded 4, if not Cao Shai he may not be able to get out today. Wang, what's the situation inside? Can't this restrictions formation be removed? Shui Pan asked when he came to Huakai. This formation is a group of ancient palaces. There are many spirit beasts in it. I almost can't get it out. The spirit beasts here are too strong. We can't get them now, but Wukong took this thing out of a great hall. Wakai took the town demon lantern and said to everyone. 94%. Chapter 537. When Huakai put mental energy into this demon town lantern, and felt that this demon town lantern was actually a low-level fairy weapon. This demon town lantern has 3 major functions. The first is that the closer the demonic beasts are, the weaker they are. This is why Huakai sees that the restrictions area is all spirit beasts. The second is its imprisonment function. It can imprison demonic beasts in the fairy lamp space, making demonic beasts more and more spiritual, and finally can be transformed into a spirit beast. It's just that to use this function, the user must be able to suppress the beast with mental energy, and the beast's spirituality will increase after lighting this lamp. The third is to be able to ascension beast spirituality. The higher the bloodline quality, the faster the ascension spirituality. These 3 functions all need to ignite the Demon Town Lantern, and what you need to ignite the Demon Town Lantern is not other, but the power of the Gold Core in Huakai Gold Core. That is to say, only the Gold Core Realmer Sage, burning his Gold Core using the power of the Sacred World, can make this demon-suppressing lantern light up, so the use conditions for this fairy tool are much higher. In addition, the Zhenyao Lan also has a storage function, with a storage space of 100 cubic meters, and its role is not less than that of mountain and river map. When Wakai saw the function of Town Demon Lantern, his first reaction was that the Wa family would have treasures for storing and transporting livestock in the future. The mental energy of livestock is much lower than that of humans of the same rank. As long as the livestock is collected in this Town Demon Lantern, they can be taken to other places. In this way, it becomes very simple for China to transport livestock. This is a fairy weapon, which Wukong obtained from the restrictions area just now. It can only be used at the gold core level and above. It has a very powerful effect. Wakai said with a smile when he heard Shui Pan asked. Wukong was walking around with everyone. Many people saw Wukong happily talking to him. Wukong looked on his face and made everyone laugh. Wukong, go inside to see if there are any fairy tools and spirit treasures out, we are here waiting for you. Huakai said Black Wukong. After Wukong heard it, he thought for a while, turned around and walked towards the restrictions area. Everyone was waiting outside in a hurry. Huakai used True Eye to explore the restrictions area, and quickly watched Wukong walk out with a bunch of things. Huakai happily took it, and found that these more than 10 pieces were all spirit treasures, and they were all broken. Many runes in these spirit treasures were already unclear, but some of the formation texts can still be seen. Study these formations. The text may have the possibility of restoring these spiritual treasures. Huakai asked Wukong to enter this restrictions area to continue looking for treasures. There are hundreds of great halls here. It is estimated that Wukong didn't even finish shopping in the outermost great hall. Wukong was very unwilling to hear this. Huakai was threatened and lured, and finally Wukong reluctantly agreed. Huakai left Shui Pan here to wait for Wukong, and he and others continued to explore this fairy island. Time just passed by a little bit. After China discovered the spirit treasure on the second day, the Hua family obtained the immortal artifact on the fourth day, and also found a spirit treasure in the Thunder Eagle area. Then on the fifth and seventh days, China Euro's luck continued, and there were spirit treasures of will. Every day the guards received more and more elixir and strange stones. After these elixir were replaced by points, all of them were basically replaced by medicine pill. Or weapons, because Ascension own strength can get more here. On the ninth day, Huakai entered an Earth Dragon Beast restrictions area. He did not want to find that the restrictions suddenly disappeared as soon as he entered. Thousands of Earth Dragon Beasts in the restrictions fled around the island instantly. Huakai had to summon all the members of the Chinese nation back to the stronghold. Although these Earth Dragon Beasts are only Tier 5 at the lowest and Tier 7 at the highest, they are powerful in number and aggressive, and pose a great threat to personnel below the foundation building level. Huakai had no choice but to start organizing everyone to fight the Earth Dragon Beasts together. Although this kind of dragon-like combat power is powerful, its huge body can be used, and its skin can also be used to make leather armor. The families of China began to arm themselves and began the road to clear the Earth Dragon Beast, kill the Earth Dragon Beast and sell it to the Hua family. The income is no less than the land reclamation. A month later, Huakai entered the family secret realm space and saw the densely packed various materials on the shelves of blacksmith shop and pill refining room, and couldn't help smiling with satisfaction. In the past 30 days, He Yihong harvested 1,320 kinds of elixir, totaling more than 400,000 plants, including 2,460 elixir of 7 or more grades and 31 elixir of 9 grades. There are 170,000 pieces of strange stones, half of which are obtained from the undead army from the Thunderhawk area. There are 14 spirit treasures, of which 3 are second rank. There are hundreds of magical items of various spirit treasures, of which only 5 are in good condition. There are more than 20 remaining spirit treasures that can be repaired. This makes up for the Wahia the defect of the foundation building's insufficient number of Lingbao. These strange stones can be used for the rapid development of China for 5 years. If the previous consumption is maintained, 15 years is enough. The entire Shandao safe area has almost been cleaned by the Chinese family. For this reason, China has paid more than 400 lives. If you want to make a big gain, you must enter the restrictions area to explore. Huakai also found King Yan and other people from the kingdom of Yan. They are exploring an ancient ruin in the restrictions in the center of Shandao. It can be seen that there are also a large number of demonic beasts guarding the ruins. The loss of the kingdom of Yan is not small. Huakai knows later, a red mark was drawn to this relic area, and China will not explore this area anymore. All the families that can contract for the exploration of the restrictions area have already searched for treasures in their own areas, and most of them have to reap, and some people have lost their money. Sequence. On May 20th, Huakai left China for 70 days, but China is still developing as usual. Soldiers in the 10-county area continue to clean up the desolate beasts in the area. The 7 elite legions are responsible for clearing the areas where the beasts are concentrated. No one noticed that most of the combat power above the Shantian level in China is out of the country. The quantity of various high-quality wild beast meat and demonic beasts meat in big cities has begun to increase sharply. The plump sky blue whale meat quickly conquered everyone. Compared with a plate of dragon meat which is thousands or even tens of thousands of gold, sky blue whale meat can be tasted for only tens to hundreds of gold, and even a child can taste it. This is very effective for the growth of children's physique and strength. As long as the families in China have the conditions, they will buy some for their children. All kinds of earth dragon beasts are as cheap as the price of ordinary wild beast meat. You only need to count gold per catty. Therefore, many civilian families can actually buy the terraced dragon beast meat this year. In the unknowingly growth, the voice supporting the Chinese rule is getting louder and louder in China. Especially the 6 southern counties that have newly joined the country of China. Because China and Lu are allies, Qin also spent this year on the domestic wild beasts, and the Central Plains ushered in a rare period of peace. Many Takaliu County families voluntarily traveling to these 6 counties has caused the population of the 6 counties to slow down, and the population of each city in Jialiu County is declining. This is what Wahia is happy to see. The establishment of the post and pavilions between Baishan and Guangling County in the south of China is also very fast. According to the statistics of the State Council, there are 41 pavilions and 182 post stations on this commercial road. Each pavilion ranges from 100 to 100. There are 1,000 elite troops, and there are 5 newly built castles on the road to make up for the lack of urban vacancies on the trade road. A total of more than 100,000 soldiers and 400,000 ordinary people will provide safety protection and stop protection for passers-by on the commercial road. China regards this commercial road as the most important thing to do. And this year there are even more caravans from the south. In May, the caravans in the middle stage of Chu and Nanyu have already arrived. Some of them take the waterway, some of them drive the official road in horse-drawn carts and send them to China. Countless exquisite goods. Because of the trade between China and other countries, the tariffs on both sides are much less than before, and the people of China are much wealthier than other countries, and many civilians earn more than ordinary families in other countries. Therefore, all kinds of goods are here. Can sell at a good price. All kinds of wool products, Fahrenheit paper, snowflake salt, demonic beasts meat, medicine pill, weapons, etc. in China are also needed by other countries. Therefore, the goods arriving in the south are finally converted into goods after being handed by the Ministry of Commerce and was taken to other countries. No one has noticed that many chambers of commerce have appeared in many cities in China. Many of these chambers were created by the family of Liu, Chu, Yan and even Qin. When they often come, there are thousands or even tens of thousands of them. And when I went back, hundreds of people drove hundreds of carriages back. The countries of the Central Plains are spreading the wealth of China. Ordinary people can eat savage beasts, ordinary people can read and study, and children go to school. The aristocratic family did not exploit ordinary people, and Wang Yingwu of China was invincible, and he could slay the great demon flood dragon. The entire country of Qi had voluntarily embraced China. These words have continuously deepened the people's yearning for China. Some caravans even quietly started the business of buying and selling people, sending people to China, and they can get a lot of commission. Huakai saw this as an opportunity to let some of the personnel who had only been evaluated as officials in China in recent years to quietly join the intelligence department. They returned to their previous country, contacted the local family with a lot of money to establish a chamber of commerce, and cooperated quietly with the family to transport people and obtain profits from China in exchange for goods. Huakai has always kept everyone in hiding. As a result, no one in any country has noticed this anomaly. The trade routes from China to the Huns and even the Yu clan have also become more prosperous this year. Horse bandits and bandits on the main roads have been suppressed continuously. In important places, the two countries have stationed strong troops and arranged for tribes to be stationed here, so they went to the grassland. There are more and more small caravans doing business, and the commercial trade in China is already very prosperous. The State Council of China is still continuing to increase the safety construction of commercial roads. Their goal is to keep all the pavilions on the commercial roads in winter, and slowly build small castles on all the pavilions. All areas are connected to achieve Huakai's farthest expectation. There are no wild animals in the country, and the people can open up fields outside the city at will. 94%. Chapter 538. As the time enters June, the weather has begun to get hot, and the happiest trade period of the year is ushered in the grassland. All herders take out their own fur and wool and bargain with caravans from China in exchange for what they need materials. Now that there are more and more caravans from the east, herders can choose to hand over their own goods to the caravan that can give the most prices. It took Hua Chengmin 3 months to walk all the way from Huacheng to the Ordos tribe. Chingerte was also used to Hua Chengmin Euro's rhythm. Anyway, he had to stop and see if he encountered any interesting things. The Moon Kingdom can be reached in 4 days, but in 3 months it hasn't been halfway. He heard that the task given by Huakai was to protect Hua Chengmin and help him deal with the things he needed on the road. He didn't ask for how long to come back to Yushi Kingdom, he was all playing with the sun. My son, in the distance is the Ordos tribe, the royal tribe of the Huns, and the strongest ally of China. There is also a stronghold in China. Every year we trade with the Zhongnu nation from the stronghold. The person in charge of the stronghold is now your uncle Hua Baoheng. He is the 9th son of your 3rd grandfather, Hua Ziji. He graduated successfully from the Chinese National Family College. He has been here for 3 years. This year his term of office will expire, and the Council of Government will send others over. Ching Gerte patiently introduced Hua Chengmin. Isn't our country's best ally Yu's country? Don't we have the top 10 Yu's tribes in Donghu County? Hua Chengmin asked puzzledly. The Yu family is quite special. Queen Yurantuya, your mother was once holy maiden of the Yu family, and is also the only heir to the Yu family. When the Hua family was just an ordinary family in Guangxian City, the king-led members of the Chinese family went to the grassland for business. Qing Jirtai introduced to Hua Chengmin the origins of China and the Ordos tribe. After hearing this, Hua Chengmin nodded. Only when China and the Xiongnu have helped each other to rise to the present level, the relationship is strong and not any country can be compared. When you come to the east of the Ordos tribe 100 miles away, you can see cows, sheep and horses grazing here, and occasionally you can see simple tents. Compared with the grasslands of China, this place has its own unique taste. Suddenly Hua Chengmin saw a large group of men and horses in the distance. It seemed that the opponent had about 50,000 cavalry, and their well-equipped cavalry was waiting quietly in the distance. Captain Chingerte, look there, is that a horse bandit? Hua Chengmin happily said to Chingerte when he saw the cavalry in the distance. Hua Chengmin wanted to see what the legendary horse bandit looked like along the way, but he didn't encounter a horse bandit or bandit along the way, which made him very regretful. My son, it's more than 100 miles away from the Ordos tribe. How could a horse thief dare to come here? Look at the cavalry decoration. It should be the elite cavalry of the Xiongnu nation. It should be here to greet you. Qing Jirtai said. Welcome me. We followed the business group all the way without revealing their identity. How could they know that I'm here? Forget it, just take a look. Hua Chengmin speeds up horse stance and walks into the distance. Qing Jirtai has always been thinking about it. Tell Hua Chengmin that there are countless people who can ride a magic horse in this world. You ride a magic horse and compete with caravan guards for equestrian skills. How can you not reveal your identity? The three of Hua Chengmin came to the opposing cavalry formation. The 50,000 elite cavalry of the Huns raised their weapons and slapped their own armor. This was their highest welcoming ceremony to the distinguished guests. Hua Chengmin stood in front of so many elite cavalry, watching with the neat movements of the other party. A solemn expression could not help but rise on his face. The king of the Huns, Chigambara, welcomes the son of China to the Ordos tribe. May the friendship between our two countries last forever. Prince Chigambara is more than 50 years old and looks older than Hua Chengmin's great-grandfather. I have seen the prince of the Huns. Hua Chengmin is ashamed to bother the Xiongnu state to revitalize the teacher. Although Hua Chengmin is only 5 years old, he is not stage fright at all. He came to the Prince Chigambara and said as a friend. Prince Chigambara saw that the son of China was so small that he could not help but nodded when he saw him salute himself proficiently. Prince China, please come with me. My father has prepared a grand banquet to entertain you. When you arrive at the Ordos tribe, you can do it at your own home, and you can directly order if you need it. Chigambara said to Hua Chengmin. Hua Chengmin nodded without being polite, because he could feel the enthusiasm of Prince Chigambara and the cavalry behind him. They saw their faces full of excitement. All this was because he was the son of China and belonged to Huakai, son. Under the escort of 50,000 elite cavalry, the three of Hua Chengmin have been sent outside the Ordos tribe. Countless herders are waiting for themselves on the grassland outside the tribe. In addition, some people wearing Chinese costumes are also waiting in the center. Hua Baohang, see young master. A young man with thousands of people knelt before Hua Chengmin neatly. Hua Chengmin saw these dark-skinned young people. They are the best young people in China, but they have persisted in this grassland for several years, all for the development of the country. What they do to themselves is the monarch's ritual, and they kneel down as their own father, to express their loyalty and determination to the country. Uncle Baohang, get up all of you. It is because of you that China can prosper today. This time I went to the Ordos tribe just to pass by. Everyone will go back to the stronghold and I will talk with you in detail later. Hua Chengmin said to the people of China who were kneeling in front of him without losing the face of the royal family. All the members of China, except for Hua Baohang, are the first to meet Hua Chengmin. They have heard many rumors about their country Euro's heirs about what is born to be a king, an emperor, and a spirit beast. No one in the world dares to come. As a teacher, many people think that this is the respect of Hua Chengmin from the Chinese family, but seeing the son of China today, everyone can feel that Hua Chengmin is different from ordinary people in terms of bearing, because he is just over 5 years old. Everyone watched Chigambara slow Hua Chengmin half a step to welcome him into the Ordos tribe. Everyone watched from a distance when the Chinese prince visited. The Ordos tribe had a lot of rumors about the Chinese emperor. Many people can't help but sigh. At the gate of King Tifa, clan leader Tifa and a group of banner owners were waiting for Hua Chengmin at the door. Hua Chengmin saw clan leader Tifa giving him a nephew, and clan leader Tifa helped Hua Chengmin up. I have seen the Huns, please forgive me if I bother you. Hua Chengmin said. This king and your father are close friends, and China and the Xiongnu are like brothers. This time flies so fast. I think that when your father came to the Ordos tribe for the first time, he was a little taller than you. After more than 20 years, the Hua family has another emperor. China, Patriarch Tifa sighed. The Hua family now has more than 30 people in the foundation building. In addition to the affiliated countries, Zhao Guo, Qi Guo and others finally settled in the foundation building in China. The Hua family has become one of the largest families in the East China, and the young people in China are more talented. In addition, even if the Huns have been trying their best to train high-qualified people, there are only 5 foundation-building patriarchs, and the most powerful patriarch Tifa is only on the 3rd floor of the foundation building, which is completely incomparable with China. Patriarch Tifa welcomes Hua Chengmin into the big tent, and sits at the top of the big tent with him. Several foundation-building realms and banner owners can only sit on both sides to accompany him, so the Patriarch Tifa already regards China as a sect leader. The attitude of the country is taken for granted by everyone in the Huns. Hua Chengmin sat in this position, and only Qing Jirtai stood behind him. For the first time, he felt that the meaning of the sun is not as simple as the eldest son of the king. He represents the country of China, and shows the country of China. Demeanor. The maids presented the dried spirit cow to everyone. This dried spirit cow was a bison king who had already been promoted to the 7th rank. Patriarch Tifa took it out to entertain Hua Chengmin. Seeing Hua Chengmin taking one bite after another, the maid served him another plate and he finished it quickly. Patriarch Tifa nodded with joy. Ordinary children don't dare to eat demonic beasts' meat at will. Hua Chengmin can eat 2 plates in a row, which is impossible even in the foundation building of the Hannu country. Demonic beasts' meat does not have a certain strength but cannot be digested. It will be fatal if you eat it. I heard that young Master China was born as a prince, and he is the best son in the world. I also saw you when you were 7 months old. At that time, you were able to walk on your own. Patriarch Tifa said to Hua Chengmin. At that time, Patriarch Tifa just came out of the journey to the Westworld space, and I remember the success of the foundation building. Your dried spirit beef is much more delicious than the dried spirit beef of China Palace, and the cutting technique of the cutting master is also stronger than that of China Palace. Excuse me today, let my father know that he will inevitably teach me a lesson, and I did not bring any gifts this time. Hua Chengmin said. The emperor's honor to be able to come to my Xiongnu country is my honor. Don't be so polite. If the emperor wants a meat slicer with good knife skills, there will be one in my tribe. A foundation building realm looked at Hua Chengmin, said with a smile on his face. When other tribe patriarchs saw this place, they also introduced Hua Chengmin to the good things of their tribe, and some even wanted to send their daughter to Hua Chengmin as a maid. Hua Chengmin refused everyone's kindness on the grounds that he went to the Xiongnu country alone without Hua Kai's permission. At this time, the big bonfire party had already begun, and everyone left the big tent to join the cheerful bonfire party. There are often bonfire parties in Donghu County of China, but Hua Chengmin has never participated. He feels the enthusiasm of the Huns and the folk customs of the Ordos tribe with a smile. At this time, a group of wrestling crowds attracted the attention of Hua Chengmin. Many adults and children were wrestling on the grass to perform for everyone. Many people watched and shouted cheering for them. 95%. Chapter 539 Snow Mountain Temple. My son, we have wrestling performances at every grand festival in the Hannu country. They are our best wrestlers. Do you want to try? A tribal chief of the Hannu country said to Hua Chengmin. Patriarch Tifa looked dissatisfied with the tribal patriarch. Wrestling was not a joke. It would be difficult to explain to China if Hua Chengmin hurt the Huns. Okay, I often hear that there are wrestling in Donghu County, China. I wrestled in the Palace of China but never met an opponent. Hua Chengmin rolled up his sleeves and came to the court. All the wrestlers stopped seeing him. Bottle, you can try it with young Master China, and don't hurt young Master. Patriarch Tai Fa said to a teenager who saw this place. I want to compare with him. Hua Chengmin said, looking at the 6-tier Shantian man with the most burly stature. He is the strongest existence among all people. Harbera, you can play with young Master China. Patriarch Tifa said to the Shantian realm. The big man looked at Hua Chengmin, who was not as high as his waist, and didn't know how to wrestle with him. He knew that he was strong, and he injured Hua Chengmin if he didn't know how to do it. You don't have to let me, I have learned wrestling too. Hua Chengmin said to the big man, posing in a wrestling posture. Everyone looked over. The legendary emperor was about to wrestle with a warrior of the Xiongnu kingdom. The brawny man saw this and bowed his head so that Hua Chengmin could grab his shoulder. The referee said, "Start," and the strong man did not dare to move. Hua Chengmin saw that he was lowered here, and he grabbed the strong man and threw it up. The strong man wanted to stabilize his body and was easily turned over by Hua Chengmin. When he got over, the other party was so easily brought down. Everyone saw that Hua Chengmin could easily shake such a big man with such a small body, and cheered him with joy. This kind of wrestling will only cheer for the strong, not because you are a prince or a prince. The big man saw that Hua Chengmin did wrestle, and his strength was so scary, he got up from the ground and came to Hua Chengmin to signal him to continue. Hua Chengmin is also willing to use his full strength. Although his body is small, he is not worse than the foundation building late stage. The two continue to start. Hua Chengmin shakes each other up this time, but the other party turns around and stops steadily in the air. He started to grab Hua Chengmin's shoulders to lift him up. He did not expect that Hua Chengmin suddenly took off and dragged him into the air. Can't beat him either. There were cheers everywhere, and everyone saw that the strength of the wrestlers was very strong, and the two men were so powerful that they could easily fall down on each other. Now they are more dominant than technology and whose power is. Hua Chengmin is light, fast, and has a lot more strength than the opponent. He started to kick out quickly. The opponent saw the opportunity to press Hua Chengmin under his body. Seeing here, Patriarch Tifa couldn't help but mention it in his throat. If that huge body is pressed on Hua Chengmin's body less than 1 meter 3, Hua Chengmin will not be injured. As a result, Hua Chengmin seemed to have expected the opponent to do this. He flicked the opponent to the left with both hands, and quickly hooked the opponent with his left foot. After pressing down with both hands, the opponent quickly fell to the ground. He withdrew 3 steps to stabilize his body. The burly man fell to the ground, only to realize that he might hurt Hua Chengmin with his full strength just now. He slowly got up and rubbed his aching arm, knowing that he was not Hua Chengmin's opponent, and the opponent was stronger than him. All Shantian realms I have seen must be strong. You are very strong, I tried my best, not your opponent. The strong man came to Hua Chengmin and said, admitting defeat. You are also very good. Hua Chengmin bowed, and the competition between the two sides ended. The surrounding herdsmen shouted, the emperor, when they saw this place. Patriarch Tifa saw that there was a flower on his face. China is such an heir, and it will be more prosperous in the future. 3 days later, Hua Chengmin brought 2 entourages to the Ujumchin tribe of the Yu family. They spent a day in the Ordos tribe. The next morning, Hua Chengmin set off for the Yu family. He had no interest in the grassland tribe, and it was meaningless to hide his identity, so they spent 2 days riding a horse from the Ordos tribe to the Ujumukan tribe of the Moon Kingdom. Qing Jirtai negotiated with the guards of the Ujumchin tribe and told them that the Prince of China had arrived. The guard hurriedly informed the chief Ujumchin when he heard it. After a while, the 3 of them saw the chief Ujumchin coming out of the tribe anxiously, to meet Hua Chengmin personally. My dear grandson, you are here. This king heard that you only came to the Huns a few days ago. You did not want to come so soon. Let this king see, Chengmin, you have grown up so much. Patriarch Ujumukan saw Hua Chengmin's face blooming with a smile, and he took Hua Chengmin's hand and walked with him into the tribe. Worried Grandpa, Chengmin was too playful and wasted time, so Grandpa waited a long time. Hua Chengmin said to Chief Ujumukan, children are good for fun. Your grandmother went back to the tribe a few days ago and asked when you can arrive. This time you will have to stay longer when you arrive in the Yu clan, said the Chief Ujumukan. The news of Hua Chengmin's arrival in the Ujumchin tribe soon spread throughout the Yu clan, and many tribal heads began to visit Hua Chengmin in the Ujumchin tribe, because everyone knew that this child might be the master of the Yu clan in the future. Patriarch Ujumukan is now the king of the Huns. After he abdicates, Urantuya has little chance of coming back. As Urantuya's only child, Hua Chengmin is the future heir of the Yu family. The Ujumchin Patriarch also hoped that Hua Chengmin could stay in the Yu family for a longer time, so he did not conceal the news that Hua Chengmin was in the Ujumchin tribe. As a result, the entire Ujumchin tribe changed within a few days. It was very lively. Every day, the tribal head of the Yu clan visited Hua Chengmin, so Hua Chengmin couldn't leave if he wanted to. Ujumukan treats Hua Chengmin as the successor of the Yu family. Hua Chengmin has people who can't finish meeting every day, and there are endless things to say. Qing Jirtai is here to remind Hua Chengmin. But it was holding back. Hua Kai can let Hua Chengmin go to the Yu family. All this must have been expected. The Hua family does not need a guard to teach the son how to behave, even if the guard is a foundation-building monarch who is loyal to the Hua family. Bye. It is also the first time that Hua Chengmin truly understands the nomads of the steppe, and understands the composition of state rights, which is completely different from that of Jialiu County. Hua Chengmin enjoys it. He often chats with the chief of Ujimukin for several hours. From the life of an ordinary herder to how the banner owners manage the cattle and sheep of the tribe, Qing Jirtai could not help but think of the former Huakai when he saw Hua Chengmin. Sometimes when he saw Hua Chengmin he could not help but think of Huakai when he was a child. So similar. Hua Chengmin inherited Huakai Euro's emphasis on the common people. He always considers issues from everyone. He does not like the privileges of nobles. He often puts rights and responsibilities together to judge a persona Euro's good or bad, but he gives it to the Yu family. Bring a lot of changes. On June 29th, Hua Chengmin finally made time. He had to go to the Snow Mountain Temple with the high priest of the Ujumchin tribe and the queen of the Yu family. The Snow Mountain Temple is usually only accessible to the priests of the temple, but the high priest it was an invitation to Hua Chengmin, which surprised many people. Moreover, Hua Chengmin is only less than 6 years old, and it takes 12 years to become a preparatory sacrifice. Hua Chengmin may be the youngest to enter the Snow Mountain Temple. Grandma, I heard that ordinary people in the temple can't enter. Why are you bringing me here? Hua Chengmin asked inexplicably when he saw a beautiful woman in front of him with 5 points similar to his mother's queen. All of this is God's guidance. You will know when you arrive. The high priest looked at Hua Chengmin and said with a smile. The two followed the mountain road to the snow-capped mountainside. The temperature here was already very low. There was nothing on both sides of the mountain road except snow. Hua Chengmin was wearing an ordinary brocade robe, but he did not feel any discomfort. When he arrived outside the temple, Hua Chengmin felt a huge breath of will, which was different from the feeling of his parents. He immediately felt some kindness. Entering the temple, here is not as magnificent as Hua Chengmin thought. Everything inside is very ordinary. It was taken to the edge of a mountain outside the temple. There is a chutting pavilion here, not far from the peak of Shenying Mountain. No one told Hua Chengmin what to do here. Hua Chengmin asked the high priest and the other party only told him to let him go, and he would know everything later. The severe cold at night in the Snow Mountain Temple is unbearable for ordinary sacrifices, but Hua Chengmin does not feel anything here at night. Every day everyone here eats only half a bowl of plain porridge. Hua Chengmin feels nothing after eating. Just a week later, the whole person looks a lot thinner. High priest, the emperor hasn't realized the divine power for so long, can it be wrong? A young priest came to the high priest and asked. It can't be wrong. Chengmin is the son of Warentuya and Huakai. Both of them have understood the power of God, and Chengmin cannot understand it without reason. The high priest said meditatively. When Hua Chengmin was just born, the high priest had already sensed his dignity in the future through the power of the gods. Although Hua Chengmin was not yet 6 years old this year, the high priest could also sense that he was in the foundation building and had a solid foundation. Incomparable, so comprehending frost will should be easy. However, in the past few days, Hua Chengmin eats and sleeps at the Snow Mountain Temple, and it is not unusual for him to meditate, as if he is really an ordinary child. But the emperor has obviously been a little impatient these few days. I'm afraid it will not be good to go on like this. The priest also said with a sad expression. At this time, Hua Chengmin came back from outside the temple with a boring expression and came to the high priest. Grandma, this temple has no meaning at all. I see a group of big eagles on the top of the mountain. I want to go out and play with them for a while. 95%. Chapter 540. A Mirage. In July of China, it was the hot summer day. Huakai just returned from a restrictions area at noon. Today, China explored a secret realm, but what I don't want to encounter is a 9 kills array. This formation is based on it is composed of 9 special forces of will, and someone who breaks in will inevitably be tested by the 9 forces of will to pass. Hua Kai found a Shantian spiritual roots in the space. He happily wanted to receive this Shantian spiritual roots. As a result, the 9 kills array ran on its own and involved a radius of 2 miles. Involved in 9 kills array. Huakai saw here hurried to rescue, but after more than 2 hours busy, Huakai rescued everyone one by one. Many of them suffered heavy mental energy trauma, which made Huakai very angry. Today we have explored 78 restrictions areas, of which 30 are ordinary areas with little value, 1 particularly dangerous area, 4 are high-risk areas, 8 are medium-risk areas, and 19 are low-risk areas. 17 are risk-free areas. After more than 2 months of exploration, 7 are high-risk areas, 3 are designated as particularly dangerous areas, and the other restrictions areas have been proven to be demonic beast space areas. The exploration cost is very high. Now there is more than a month left before we leave. We have now searched 90% of the area on the Fairy Island, and explored more than 80% of the restrictions area. To avoid casualties, it is better to stop exploring the rest. In the next month, the injured people will take a good rest in the boat building. Others can explore the restrictions area that has been raided, and the gains will inevitably be no less. Hua Kai said to all the foundation buildings of the Hua family. Everyone, mental energy Euro-S injury is very troublesome, treatment is particularly difficult, and serious realm may drop. Even if China's state-owned spiritual pill for the treatment of mental energy, it will take a long time to recover. Yes, I have been busy for more than 2 months. Everyone has red eyes for the treasure hunting. It is not worthwhile to take risks for the remaining restrictions. It is most important that we go home safely next. Hua Mo, after listening to Hua Kai's words, I couldn't help but agree with it. Hua Kai must stop the madness of the Chinese family, because there have been more and more casualties recently. This is because everyone has been on the island for 2.5 months, and everyone is jealous when seeing more and more people getting good treasures. They want to take the plunge and try it. Another reason is that the safe area has been explored several times. Nowadays, treasures will only appear near unexplored areas, and many people will never be able to get out after entering the restrictions area. Now let everyone rest early and restore their state. Many families who can go back this time have made a lot of money. Among them, there are more than 10 families with an income of more than 30 million. This is enough to make a super family with 10,000 people capable of ascension in 20 years. Times. As a result, everyone in the Hua family rested in the stronghold the next day. Hua Kai asked everyone to leave the ship. He put the ship into the sea of consciousness and used the power of gold core to constantly go to the ascension ship a Euro-S quality to restore it. All injuries. In the afternoon, the Chinese guards came to report that another 23 people were missing today, which is more than yesterday, including 5 Shantian people. Hua Kai asked people to tell the people of China about the dangers of the remaining restrictions area, telling everyone not to get close to the restrictions area, otherwise no one would be able to save them. As a result, on the 3rd day, the guards came to report that the number of missing today reached 29. Among them, there was also a foundation building. Hua Kai gathered everyone together and told them that entering these areas is dangerous and makes everyone. Don't get closer, the rest are the restrictions area. In the early morning of July 26, Hua Kai and others left the resting ship and put the ship into his consciousness space. He saw that there were others before dawn and set off again and went to explore the treasure. Thinking of the number of missing yesterday, Hua Kai also understands that he can't persuade him. Many families who have not gained anything from exploring the restrictions area are rushing to recoup a little loss. The sun rose from the east, and the sky was bright red under the flaming morning glow, and Hua Kai suddenly saw something in the clouds. After just a few breaths, a magnificent scene appeared after the morning glow, and a gorgeous picture scroll appeared in the sky. Hua Kai could clearly see that the painting was a quaint small town, and the street trees in the small town were clearly visible, far away. There are green mountains and green waters, and a few water ducks swim leisurely in the water. The various magical plants on the shore are very dazzling, and they are rare treasures at first glance. Other people in the stronghold have also seen this. Everyone is staring at the east to see this strange phenomenon. Hua Mo and others are looking at Hua Kai. This must be an ancient relic, and there are many treasures in it. If you can enter it, you will not gain. Phew. This should be a mirage. Seeing the level of clarity, this place is not too far away from us. I have seen all the restrictions areas on this fairy island. No such remains were found. This should be the island to the west of us. You are all waiting here. I will go to the nearby island to check it out. Don't come over no matter what happens. Hua Kai said to everyone. The nearby island Hua Kai has also been viewed from a distance. A thick fog of Hua Kai mental energy is impossible to detect. He can feel a strong sense of crisis when he is close to it. Just like the former dragon, this island was released by Zhao Dan and King Yan. The Jiaolong was opened, and there was probably a big demon on the nearby island. The 2 islands are more than 30 miles away, just like 2 twin brothers. There is a reef area in between. There are some fishes living here. When Huakai came to the western island and looked down, the faint sense of crisis began again. Appear. Huakai took out the scary night gun and landed slowly, and felt the formation restrictions not far away. His sweeping Sha Yi spell was running, and Huakai quickly entered the island. Turning on the eye of reality to view the formation, Huakai found that the complexity of the formation was beyond imagination, and he could not find where the formation's eyes were. With Huakai's current strength, even if he encounters a big monster, he is not afraid, and he can escape into the family space if he can't. After walking carefully on this island for 10 minutes, Huakai only saw some ordinary plants and trees, but did not find any elixir or strange stones. He was a little surprised. And the spiritual chi on this island is actually very thin, far from the fairy island they explored. After walking for more than 10 minutes, Huakai suddenly felt the mountain shake, countless wind blowing through the sky. Huakai could feel pain with the physique of the god realm. Huakai's first reaction was that he fell into the formation. Sao Sha Yi, there has been no warning, indicating that this is not an illusion, it must be a killing array. Huakai opened the eye of reality, and he saw that he was in a special space. Not far away, there was a continuous strong wind emanating from the ground. The surrounding area of 100 acres of land formed a windy area, which turned out to be a natural place. Within the formation, Huakai walked through the windy area in the direction where the wind was weakest, and felt the squally wind around him suddenly stopped. Sweeping Sha Yi on him started to work again, and then he entered a phantom array again. Ignoring these illusions, Huakai discovered that this island is likely to be composed of a natural combination of formations. If this is the case, it would be so easy to crack here. The Shantian level large array is complicated and abnormal, and it is not so easy to crack. This is still when he can detect all the formations and feet of the formation. After walking more than 20 miles ahead, Huakai kept using True Eye to explore along the way. He found a road leading to the island. It took more than an hour to walk through the last phantom array, and the scenery in front of him suddenly changed. Next to a lush forest is a row of abandoned huts. A cobblestone road outside the hut leads to the distance. On both sides of the road are various plants and Huakai. The dense spiritual chi forms a spiritual mist suspended in the air. Huakai walked on the stone road, and repeatedly checked with the real eye that there was no danger, and then he walked forward. When he came to a house, Huakai saw that most of these wooden houses had collapsed due to the erosion of the years, but most of the wood used to build defenses was grade 7 or above spirit wood, and doors and windows in many places were built with grade 9 spirit wood. It is hard to imagine what the people who once lived here were like. A little rabbit is eating the grass on the ground behind the house. It is not afraid to see Huakai. Huakai continues to move forward, confirming that this is an ancient city where people once lived. From many traces, you can see the life of a long time ago. Legend has it that 20,000 years ago, when all the continents of the world were still together, the human race was still the protagonist of heaven and earth at that time. At that time, the heaven and earth spiritual chi was sufficient. Everyone could enter the chi training realm as long as they were grown-ups. The foundation building realm can only be regarded as a general master. But one day, the world suddenly changed. The earth broke and the human civilization was completely destroyed. The old earth was divided into countless fragments, some sank into the sea, and some new continents appeared. Domination, and then after 20,000 years of development, human race has returned to its present situation. As the continent with the largest number of surviving ancient civilizations, Dongtu Shenzhou has preserved the most ancient civilizations. People's cultivation technique, martial skill, and even Lingbao have been preserved the most. The most important Dongtu Shenzhou has spiritual chi like the ancient times, so it will be called Shenzhou. And these two islands must be one of the fragments of the ancient road split, and it is very rare to be able to be preserved here. After countless years and various coincidences, various spirits have guided the will of heaven and earth to form formations, and it is also a kind of protection for this place, so that Huakai has the opportunity to see these in front of him today. The more you walked in, the more traces of humans once lived here. Huakai also saw some animals such as bison and wild sheep, but he didn't see a spirit beast or a wild animal, and he also found a strange one. The matter, spiritual chi is so abundant here, and I haven't seen any high-level elixir, there are so many strange stones. Elixir, there are so many strange stones. Elixir, there are so many strange stones.